I'm Chris McDonough, a retired homicide detective. I've interviewed thousands of people, from serial killers to ministers. Welcome to the interview room. Aloha. Welcome everybody to the another episode of the interview room. It's so great to have you all here this evening. Karen and I are grateful. I have a ticker going on right below us here, and we'll remind everybody why we're here, obviously, for Little Miss Summer Wells. And I just want to take a moment up front and thank, of course, everybody who's here, as well as all of our great mods. I always like to make sure that our mods are recognized for all the great work that they do. And my Karen is telling me I'm a little blurry, so let me see if I can fix that. All right, am I blurry for you guys as well? Just tell me if so. I'm going to switch over to another Wi-Fi. Okay, is that a little better? Okay, good, good. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little roll call here. We've got Maui, Sophie, Miss Sophia. Let's see who else is in the house from our mod side. When that stuff happens like that, it absolutely throws my rhythm off. And so I apologize for that. But anyway, if I have Mimi J2, great to see you as well. I know you're dealing with some things, you're in our prayers. Sophie H, thank you so much. I cannot do this without all of you who are our mods. As you guys are coming to see here, we have the absolute greatest mods, in my opinion, on YouTube. And with that said, one thing I take great pleasure in recognizing is the fact that each one of you as well are a very class act. I cannot thank you. There has been many, many, many really smart ideas, things that have come up, and that you have presented in terms of theories, comments. So for that, I want to thank you for that. I also, love the fact that we, as the TIR family, try to keep it as focused on her as we can, because this is why each of us are here. The only thing we've ever asked, and Stephanie Erb, thank you. I just see you coming here as well. I appreciate you being here. One of the things that we ask is that we continue to keep it classy, keep all of the mishigash. There's enough places for all of that. This is not that channel. So if you're with us for the very first time as a subscriber, we appreciate you. We're grateful for you. And also our longtime subscribers and members and our new Patreon members, thank you so much for everything you do just by being here and helping support us just by your presence here. So That said, wow, a lot going on. And we're going to break up the second part here. And this is a TBI statement. At this time, there is no evidence that she was abducted. However, all avenues continue to be explored, including foul play and the possibility that she wandered off and became lost in the mountains. That is a very significant statement. I think we can all agree that if there's any credible information in this case, that TBI ask you to come forward and talk about it. Let everybody know. And there's so many people that say, I know this, I know that, and they're sending me emails. And please don't send me emails. Send them to TBI. If you have credible information, please consider that first. And then if everything else, fails, you can send it to me and I will forward it along. We had an email last week as an example for McLeod, and the person sent it to me, and basically it should have gone right to the Marshal Service. So I forwarded it along to the Marshal Service. Now, the good news is, thank you for sending that. Thank you very, very much for sending that email. So, at the same time, we want to be clear that we're sending information to the right authorities, so we're not wasting time. That said, Claire, I agree with you on this one, and I'm going to let you shout that out. If you have not seen the picture matchup from this creator in the UK, go see it. It is a 1,000% match as to where the picture was taken with Summer in the car. I wholeheartedly agree, and so that's a good shout out. I put it up. We don't typically, just run other things in here because you end up with all kinds of mishigosh. And so thank you for pointing that out. Continue to keep it classy. That's one of our rules. But I did take a look at what Michelle had put together over her vacation. It sounded like she came over and, she matched the geographic region. And I had driven by that. And I agree with her 1,000%. She is on target on that one. Okay, that said, we've got a lot to cover tonight. And, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. There is so much information that is inaccurate. It goes this way, it goes that way. So I just want to remind everybody what my position is. Okay, what my position is. We know what the date she went missing. No brainer. We know what time the 911 call came in. No brainer. Okay. We understand there is gaps of time. We know that TBI is looking for a red truck currently described as a Toyota Tacoma. Okay. This came from a witness who said they thought it was a Toyota Tacoma. However, they haven't confirmed that it's a Toyota Tacoma. They have excluded hundreds of red trucks, but there could be more red trucks out there. Okay. And so as a result of that, let's keep an open mind, because right now, I think there are three possibilities. And as we break this down tonight, in terms of how I interpreted what what Candace was saying to me at the water hole. Okay. It is really interesting how this has come down to a couple of possibilities. Okay. We heard from Hunter again last week. He drops, the name Andrew, Andy. We don't know who that is. Okay? We don't know who that is. Okay? And that's Hunter saying that. That is not me. That is nobody else. That is Hunter. Okay? We all heard that. Okay? So everybody in, common sense for all of us, everybody in this case currently is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Okay? So there are, a couple of steps that I want to go through tonight that, kind of correlate, to some of the conversation that, Hunter had, and then some of the conversation that Candace had. Now, remember, Candace came forward to talk to me, and I met her at the church up there in Kingsport at the top of the hill. Miss Robin was up there at the time, and I talked to Robin. I talked to Candace at the church initially, and I asked her. I said, "Well, would you be willing to take me to the water hole and show me what had taken place?" She wholeheartedly said, "Absolutely, I'll take you down there, etc." Okay, and so the video that we're going to watch tonight is us going down there. Okay, it's been up, but I'm going to add a little, I think, interesting observations that I had with her that I have not shared until this current time. So I'm down to three theories potential. First of all, the abduction theory, in my opinion, that would have been theory number 4. And I've talked about this for months, okay? 4 months. Okay? I have taken that off of the table for me. That is my opinion based on what information I have learned as well as I know. And so that is, in my opinion, not an option. However, okay, I'm talking about a stranger abduction. I'm not talking about somebody having access and knowing that property, the geographic, what we would call a geographic profile. I'm not taking off the table yet that somebody within the influence of this family, be it friends, neighbors, work acquaintances, anybody that has access to that property is in the play. In the play. Now, that means how did she get off of the property is the next question. Okay, that is the next question. Okay, and so that means the next one is, okay, what are some of the other possibilities? So for me, the next theory is an accident. And that accident theory goes in a lot of different directions. And I think each of us also would probably weigh in on, what does that mean? Okay. For me, what that means is the water is in play, and I'll give you more on that. I have not left the house, okay, and meaning the property, okay. The stairs, her falling down, the swing, hitting the tree. There's a whole bunch of list of her going down towards the road. Maybe there was a car coming, hit her. Maybe that was the scream that people have reported. I don't know yet. Okay. What I am thinking, though, Summer disappears from that environment pretty quickly. Okay. Now, does that mean she got hurt up there? Could she have been hurt in other places? I don't know. I do not know. But I am not taking that off of the table. Okay. Could she have, as I see Skilo here, could she have hit the, the vapes, the Skittles? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff with the CBD, all kinds of stuff that we've all thrown around. Okay. I continue to go back to that property for the reasons that, children don't vanish from basements of houses. They wander out typically or somebody comes in and takes them out. Okay? That is, that is my dilemma looking at this situation in this case. Okay, these are all my opinions. They may be wrong. They may be right. I was on time in terms of being there almost 4 weeks post her disappearance. So I think these interviews and this interview specifically is very telling, very telling. So just by, our chat here, we've got a lot of folks involved here. I just want to see well, first of all, I want to say hi to everybody. If you've never been with us, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get the notifications. But I want to know what you think before we drive into this. Just tell me out of the three, access to the property, accident, or she wandered off, or something else you think. But I'm not going to answer them. I just want to see where everybody's at. Okay. Welcome, Chuck. So go ahead and tell me what you think. Tell me what you're leaning towards. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wander off, Karen. Thank you. I see a lot of accidents coming in here. Well, parents, I'm not saying it couldn't have been a cover up. Okay. Accidents. Okay. Still on the 3. Thank you. This is what I love about you guys. This is amazing. Okay. Deb, you think she's been sold. Okay. Accident from the sibling. Okay. Interesting. Yep. Sold. Okay. We got a couple of those. OD, accident. Summer never made it back to the home, to the house. Okay. Interesting. Accident cover up, 99 balloons. Okay. Foul play, Dolores. Something else, Robin Roberts. Okay. Drug deal, sold. Okay. Spirit warrior. Accident. Okay. So it looks like the accident wandering down the driveway with the dogs. That was one of the things that I was thinking as well, that hypothetically, what if, if this was an accident scenario, could she have gone down that road? Or remember, I heard that the boys and the kids were playing hide and seek. Okay? Could they have been playing hide and seek? And she made it out to the road, which would make the dog scent in play. And could a vehicle have been coming down that road and potentially hit her? I don't know. That's speculation, but it is a theory that I think we should keep on the board. Okay? And maybe take a look at that and go, hey, wait a minute. What if that's the case? And now that puts into other things, other motions of other people. Okay? And so I don't have any evidence of that right now, personally. Some of you may, but I'm not going to speculate please don't speculate in the chat on that piece. We're just talking about the 3 theories: accident, someone had access to the property, wandered off for tonight. Okay. I am not going to say that the parents don't know. Okay? I think the parents are very well aware of some things that they have not revealed. And there's a lot of information that points in that direction as a whole. All right. So that said, is everybody ready? I'm not going to make this 4 hours tonight. So, let's, I promise you I will not do that. And I got another text message from Josh. He's asked me if I would come up one more time. And I said, yes, I would do that. But the last one next in a couple of days, I'm going to go back into the house and that will be just that process that evening. But if you've not seen the lab, get over there, and mods, if somebody can pull his link in, that way folks will know that I'm going to go there next. Okay, that said, shout out to Mary and I'm joking. Jenny, thank you so much. We love you guys. We know things are moving forward in Utah on your stuff. So God bless you for that. All right. So are we ready? let me put this up into the stream, and let's get into this.
Some woman made this shirt for me. I'm not sure exactly what her name is.
And tell me the significance of this shirt. Why is it so important?
Because my daughter loved Paw Patrol.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay, and I'm just going to put this right out there. Everybody knows that's Robin in the background from the church, because she asked, and I'm going to say this again, if she could, if I needed anything. And I said, it would be really great. It was my suggestion if you would come down there with us and have your daughter walk Buddy, because that madman was going to be barking at all the horses nearby. Okay. The shirt. Okay. This is, done pretty soon after Summer went missing. Again, within 30 days, 40 days. All right. So she presented herself initially at the church in a very comfortable, relaxed, yet suspicious of what my intent was and my motive. Okay? And obviously later on, the phone calls started after this was released. And, she said that she said some things that, quite frankly, I'm not going to say. But in this presentation, when she got to me, she was very calm. She was projecting that, she was associating and attaching with her daughter who's missing. Okay? Meaning these are her favorite toys. And she projected that very clearly. So I'm not feeling any, crazy vibes here, okay? But I'm taking mental notes in relationship to how she's handling it in terms of her demeanor, her presentation. Is she making eye contact with me? All of those answers right now, I wore my glasses on purpose. Okay? All of those answers are clicking some boxes that she is, just being right now level set. Okay? That is my opinion.
You did Paw Patrol. What else? Princesses.
Ponies, and she loved Frozen. And then she started with they're little animals, but I'm not sure what they are. And they got big eyeballs. I can't remember what the name of them are. I got a couple on my window.
Are they like little? They got like the big eyes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they got the big eyes.
Yeah.
She likes bracelets and jewelry, and she's just a round girl.
Yeah, yeah. So let's take me back to that day when y'all were here swimming.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Okay. Now I presented what the action was there. That there's a reason for that. Okay. I said swimming to see if she would respond to, changing it to anything. Okay? At this point, remember, I'd already interviewed Hunter. So we have the idea of fishing, that was kind of on the table from Hunter. But that's why I presented an option for her. So that is a technique. It's called the read technique, to let her, kind of it's kind of like if somebody's lying and they say something to the effect of, well, I was at the movie theater. Okay? Well, then you interject an idea into the conversation. Like, well, then you must have seen the paramedics that came for the guy that had the heart attack. No matter what they say, it could be true in their minds, but that never happened. Okay? So if they bite and they take it, then you're into River City in the vein.
Okay. So let's walk me down. Is this where you parked?
Yeah, this is where I park. I park here all the time.
All the time. And now, do you come here a lot?
I used to come here a lot. Yeah.
And you bring the kids here?
I'd bring the kids here all the time, and they'd either fish or swim, whichever.
Right.
So there she qualifies the swim concept with either fish or swim. Okay. So you got to pay attention to some of the minutia details, because you're gonna get a whole bunch up front here, just at the car. She used to come there all the time. So that could be because of trauma. That could be because maybe this is a place where the majority of her memory of her is. Okay. So there's a lot going on. I'm not saying, for me anyway, at that point, any of this right now with her is looking, like she's not being straight up with me. There are some other things that I'll point out, but at this point, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I still have, even to this day, on this section.
It's there's nobody down here hardly.
Right.
So it's away from. I don't like to have the kids around a bunch of other kids because of all the sickness and stuff that's been going around, different kids and stuff like that.
Yep.
So this was more secluded, private kind of thing, I guess.
Okay, you hear what she said? Habit. Yet she qualified it into the COVID problem. So the reason she and the kids come down here are a couple of reasons. One, she likes to be secluded and away from the public because of COVID, i.e. the medical situation that was going on at that time. And then the second part of that, it's in her personality to be somewhat withdrawn away from people. Now, looking at this months later, we might be able to say, well, she was leaking information back then about not wanting to tell us about what really happened. Okay? So I think now in retrospect, we look at this and we can think, well, okay, it can go either way, right? It could go either way. Again, thank you, Elise, giving an alcohol minor alcohol. Sorry about that. I'm tired. Giving a minor alcohol like the tea. So she had already seen, by the way, I wanted her to see Hunter's video to see how much clashing was going to take place in her conversation. And what I did and have done is, I did a comparative analysis in relationship to, what Hunter said, what she said, which of the two matched up. And she's going to qualify that on her own here as to why she's really willing to talk about this.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm more of a quiet kind of person. I don't like to be in a big crowd.
Yeah.
I tend to stick to myself and my family, and that's it.
Yeah. And when you guys got here, who was with you? There's a lot of rumors
my
about...
My mother was with me.
Yep.
And my daughter.
Yep.
Summer. And Hunter was with us.
Okay. Now, tell me about the dynamics of what everybody was doing. Who was doing what when you first got here? What happened?
I got out of the car first, and then I opened the back door because my mom's got a double door on her truck.
Right.
So I opened the back door and I let her and Hunter out.
Okay.
And Summer's first thing is to run to the water, of course.
Right.
And I was like, Summer, just wait, let me get my stuff and I'll walk over there with you.
Okay, so now this helps us understand some of the dynamics in relationship to positioning. And I wanted to know that because of the milk. And she says that Hunter was at the edge, and we're going to hear it here in a second, and Summer was in the middle. Okay. So in this scenario, Hunter gets out first, Summer jumps out. It sounds like Summer wants to take off to the water, but she wants to deal with Grandma getting out of the car. Now, that's a discrepancy in relationship to what Hunter tells us. Hunter said she stayed in the car. Well, that may be because he started to potentially walk towards the woods. And there is a path, as we all know, that goes alongside the water area here. Okay? So I'm not really getting too excited about what's going on here. Okay.
And she waited for me, and I don't know, Hunter went off into the woods somewhere. I don't know where he went.
Now, where was Summer sitting?
She was sitting in the middle seat.
Okay.
Hunter was sitting on the end.
Okay.
And my mom said, hold on a minute, so we waited for my mom to get out.
Okay.
And Hunter, he just done disappeared into the woods. I don't know where he went.
Okay. Okay.
And me and my mom and Summer walked over there, and we were just letting Summer play, and then Hunter eventually come back out of the woods wherever he was.
Okay.
And
Now, this is what I would call a qualification statement. She sets a narrative back from where the incident potentially could have taken place. But she sets it back and then repeats it back down by the water hole. Okay? And so right now, I don't think she's completely rehearsing it because she's pretty spontaneous. I'm watching her. She pauses. She looked up. She had to think, i.e. she's remembering. Okay? And she points to the center seat and said she was in the center seat. Okay? Hunter's off over here to the side. Okay? All right. They get out. Hunter walks, as we just heard. She's dealing with grandma. And then she, compresses the group, Summer, grandma, and her, towards the water hole. Okay? Now, what I want it to do, and you're going to see me here, is no, all three weren't sitting in the back seat. Grandma was up front in the right front passenger seat. Okay. And so at that point, okay, I wanted to see if she was going to take the lead in showing me, but she kind of lags back, and I tell her, I said, well, no, why don't you go? And you'll see me put my hand out. And what I'm doing there is I'm telling Karen, stay back. I want to watch, because later I wanted to watch. I wanted to see, what her intent was in terms of how she was going to explain grandma going down that path, okay, which she does.
and
So let's walk over there. Show me.
Yes, flagging.
And I'll just follow you, okay?
No.
I'll follow you on which direction. And
everything's slow motion now.
I know.
Significant, huge. What did you guys hear? Let me see if you guys caught it. Let's see here. See if you guys caught it. Now, by the way, the chat's on slow, so I apologize. You're right. So I'll wait, because I do want to hear you weigh in. Okay. But so I'm while we're walking there, I'm trying to gauge, how she is, going. Yes, it's in slow motion right now for her. Now, I've seen enough to know there's a couple things going on here. That response is a PTSD / type of response. It's a trauma response. And those of you who are doctors, yes, thank you, Shannon. You just said it. Thank you. All of that is, she is rethinking or living a traumatic situation. Okay? Because I know from incidences, everything slows down. Okay? Your heart rate increases, your pupils dilate, your blood pressure rises, but everything right now is, for her, she is going into this tunnel. Okay? And with a person like her, okay, with all of the history of narcotics and drugs, etc., I looked at her pupils. I saw a couple of things going by here. She was not under the influence. Now, she had been. I've seen it. I saw that on the the interview on the news. But in this moment, she's not. She's very conscious and cohesive in relationship to how she's presenting herself and how she is saying, this is what I'm feeling right now. And that is a feeling statement. Okay. It is a feeling statement. So I'm going to go back here for a second. You're going to hear it real fast. Okay. Listen to what she says very carefully.
And I'll just follow you, okay?
No.
I'll follow you on which direction. And
Everything's slow motion now.
I know. So which direction does Hunter go?
He went that way.
He went that way. Now, was he in a bathing suit?
No, I think he just had his shorts and his shirt on.
Okay, and Summer?
We know that because of the TikTok video. And she says, I think. So she's not positive. Okay.
Was she in her bathing suit?
Yes.
And how did she get in her bathing suit?
I actually put her.
She's positive that Summer's in a bathing suit at this swim hole here. And then remember, we heard how that happened. According to Hunter, according to Hunter, Candace brought Summer in the house and changed her into the bathing suit. Okay. This is what Hunter said. But listen what Candace tells us.
Her bathing suit on before we left home because it was really hot out that day.
Okay.
So it was just something small and then not so hot.
Okay.
Because I know how she gets too hot.
Okay.
So that's a contradiction, right? So we can flag that. Okay, we can flag that. Okay. She's saying when she left her house that day, she put the bathing suit on her, and her ration and her reasoning for that was because it was a very hot day. Okay. So early on in the morning, she knew that in her mind, according to me, in my opinion, what I just heard was she understood that this day was a little bit, warmed up. And I said Tennessee warm. And the only reason I know that is I used to live in Tennessee for a couple of years. So I know how humid and how warm it can get. Okay? So, that was a red flag. So I'm just, plugging that on the board behind us, as I like to say. So here we go.
Okay. And what was the temperature that day? Give me an idea.
Probably in the 80s.
Okay. So it's Tennessee warm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she qualifies that by saying probably in the 80s. Okay? Now that again is showing, in my opinion, she's being, forthright with me. Okay? And she's saying, well, I'm not really sure, probably in the 80s. Okay? So I'm taking that messaging in very clearly that, okay, we've got something cooking. And I'm watching her because I'm wearing my glasses and she can't see all the time that I'm checking on her. I'm watching to see, how she looks over at me. Does she look away when she makes the statements? And, right now I'm not seeing a whole bunch of problems, but she does go from the slow motion pretty quick to a couple of rapid fire questions. And she is just kind of flowing pretty well, in my opinion.
I think it is now.
And are you an air conditioned person, or in your mom's truck was the
No.
AC on? Or
I don't like AC.
Okay. So what happened? Where do you guys go, and where's Summer going here?
We all walked down this path, me, my mom, and Summer.
All right. So all three of you together.
Yeah.
Now, how does Mom's knee handle this hill here?
Well, she uses her cane, so it's a little bit easier, and she'll hold on to my shoulder so
Okay.
she doesn't fall or nothing.
So you're kind of escorting her down here.
Yeah.
And is Summer ahead of you or behind
She's
you?
right here in front of me.
Okay. So walk me through that.
Oh, we're just walking down through here. I mean, usually, like I said, we go slow because of my mom's knee.
Okay.
Messed up.
Okay.
I was just standing here at the end, and then, well, the water's up a lot further than it usually is. Usually it's down. You can usually see all that wood sticking up out of the water. And she was just...
Now, if we go back, there are a lot of creators that have put that video up of her in the water. So I would have you go watch those videos. But yeah, they at this point, right where she's saying this is going down, those videos confirm this is the spot. I can confirm it, not only being there, but I watched those videos multiple times. In fact, I even said, at the table there, when they started playing, the video, I think it was Plunder who put it up, that, oh, I'd already seen that. Okay. So, but this is the spot. This is the spot. Okay? Now, the difference here is Hunter says, as we remember, Grandma is in the car, in the truck. Candace says Grandma takes the trip down there. So, but then Hunter changes it and says, well, they, at some point they were picking flowers and looking at TikToks. So I think for Hunter, again, weighing out that he has ADHD, his control mechanism in relationship to order and a variety of other things. And I said it the other night was, I'm not a doctor, so I gave him a benefit of the doubt. Maybe he is confused. Okay? And so what was interesting about that, though, is Candace wants to fix the order. She's here talking to us, me at that time, Karen, about the order of how Hunter had things. Okay? Not that he was wrong about where he went and how they went there, but the order of how they had it, he had it. And so she was there to help clarify it. Okay. So keep that in mind. Okay.
Plane right here.
And what time do you get here about, if you remember?
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest with you. Time is, I don't keep track of time.
No, I understand.
Nobody keeps time. Oh, red flag. Okay. Red flag timeline. That's the first, thing that it's like, okay, what else, why do you not keep time? They all have phones, and every one of their phones has a clock on it. Okay. Just ask anybody today with a phone if they wear a wristwatch. Okay. A lot of people today have forgotten what wristwatches unless they're going to dress up to go out. But if you look at the younger generation, they're like clocks, watches, only if it's an Apple Watch that connects to their phone. Okay. So that's the only relevance that watches, come into play. So I think she does know, but at this point, she's not, dropping that piece of the puzzle yet, because it's going to probably conflict with some of the things the authorities may know in relationship to the pings on their phones being at that water hole.
Okay.
I mean, I get up in the morning, I do my thing with the kids, and then we go to bed.
Okay.
I can't even tell you. I know I went to the hospital at 8 with my mom, dropped her off, and I was sitting there, and Hunter called me.
Now, I want you to catch something real subtle. When she's telling me this, I think she's guessing initially about the time frame, because she is talking and saying, well, so she's like saying, well, this is what happened, but she's shaking her head. Watch it. That's another red flag that I grabbed.
Here about, if you remember.
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest with you. Time is, I don't keep track of time.
No, I understand.
I mean, I get up in the morning, I do my thing with the kids, and then we go to bed.
Okay.
Now, she looked right at me, and she wanted to emphasize that. Okay. Again, flag number 3 at this point from me. This is my opinion. Okay. I'm not saying it, could be right or wrong. I'm saying, in my opinion, if I had her in an interview, I would really pound on, well, why don't you keep time? Okay.
I can't even tell you. I know I went to the hospital at 8 with my mom, dropped her off, and I was sitting there, and Hunter called me and asked me what I was doing. I said I was sitting at the hospital in the parking lot waiting on my mom to get done. And he said, well, why don't y'all come over? I said, well, as long as your mom says it's okay. And I guess he woke her up or said something to her, and he said, yeah, she said it's fine for a little bit.
Now, I'm gonna say that because she watched Hunter's video, and strategically I wanted her to, all she did was layer that story to regurgitate it here. Okay? So because she gave a subtlety there about, Hunter calling her, okay, versus her calling Hunter, and Hunter went in, asked, his mom, waking her up. Remember, he says, and you were, sleeping. And here she is shifting, she's serving the ball back to Hunter in reference to the communication point. Okay. That's pretty slick. That's pretty slick. And because the phones will really fix that problem. And I'm concerned because she's going to tell us about the phone here in a little bit. I don't know if at this point they knew there were a couple other phones in play. I'm hoping they did. Okay. In fact, I know they may, I know they got something, they got their devices, but I don't know if they grabbed everything initially. That's just my thought process. Could be wrong, hopefully.
I guess his grandma was coming over or something. She don't like me. But I don't like her either. So.
Okay, shifting gears right from the slow motion, thought process, Summer, right into Allie and their relationship dissolving and why. Okay. Shift.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, seems like you guys have had a falling out. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And,
that movement of the hat is like a decompression where she's kind of bummed. And you'll hear it in her voice.
The stupid part on Al, really honestly.
what was it over?
Well, I don't know if it was her husband or Hunter's, I'm just going to say Hunter's daddy. Come out with all these guys and stuff, and we're supposed to move down here. And they couldn't find a place to stay or whatever. Well, I don't really remember what this guy's name was. I know he's a Mexican, I think. And
that Jose guy?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, she wanted him to stay, and she was also staying at my house.
Okay.
Okay, so during this, when all of the Hunter family, the dad and all of that, and this Jose guy, well, Allie is staying at her house with her kids. They're all there. Everybody is there. Let's listen to that again. And Jose, remember, he was part of the DV report. So, I don't remember, she doesn't remember his name, but later it was, established that he was during the, the DV problem. Okay. So listen again where she drops Allie into the circle here.
They couldn't find a place to stay or whatever. Well, I don't really remember what this guy's name was. I know he's a Mexican, I think. And
that Jose guy?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, she wanted him to stay, and she was also staying at my house.
Okay.
So I said, well, if you're going to be with him, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. That's y'all's deal. And I don't know, they did whatever they did because I didn't really pay attention to them. I just hung out with the kids and my mom.
She is distancing herself from this Jose character and putting him onto Allie. And we know that potentially this guy, at that point would have been a really important interview because obviously of his past, okay, of his past. So she's doing this. She's pulling away from this Jose guy and dropping it on Allie. That Allie was staying with her. So this is a crash pad for Jose, a crash pad for Allie and her kids, and she says that. We hear it. Okay. So I don't know if that's their common practice. I didn't know at that point. We learn now later on that many people would visit that property. So again, that puts it in the realm of a possibility that somebody had access to that property with Summer. Yeah, with 4 kids, right?
And then one day he just goes, I like chicks with dicks. After him and her did whatever. And she got all pissed off and just said, come on, take me and my kids back to my place. I'm out of here. So I don't even know what really happened.
Okay.
She just...
So this is the other part. She downplays that they got into, some type of, differences. So Allie says, well, take me back to my place then. So it sounds like Allie was staying there. This disturbance with Jose caused her to Allie, well, take me back to my place. So this is really convoluted because Hunter's dad and all these other guys from upstate New York are all there. So I don't know how many people are there at this time. Okay. So I think what she's doing is she is doing this, okay, during this interview, right at this point. Because now look at her expression. She's like this. Okay? Well, I'm not really sure what they did. Okay? Well, she knows something happened because she's talking about it. Okay? But she's kind of deflecting off of what could have happened between Allie and that Jose guy. That goes into the category of, okay, does Allie have motive to throw more mud into the environment during the search for Summer? Okay? Because they are like this, and Candace is going, well, I wish we would have still had our relationship, but Allie's going, boom. Okay? So, what do you guys think on that one? I mean, this is a really, this is when I think this case becomes completely convoluted, and it is no longer about Summer. This is a paradigm shift into the relationships between Allie and Candace and Don and a couple other folks. We're seeing them reveal themselves today. Okay? Other folks. Okay? I'm not going to name any names because I'm not like that until we have concrete evidence. Okay? But there's a whole bunch of things going on. And I think this is the first indication that I had is that I'm not sure if they even care about Summer at this point. Okay? I'm not sure. So this was the day in my mind I wanted to find out about Dad. And it was after this interview that I had my sight set on, okay, there's more here. There's more here that we're not getting to yet. And this was early on because I thought at this place, and by the way, you'll see that I position her a certain way so that she's looking at the water. And I apologize for that, but I had to do it. And you get all the, the lapping. What I wanted her to do was keep baking. Okay. If there's a traumatic event going down here, i.e. Summer drowning or something to that effect, something going on here. Okay. I wanted her to visualize it. I wanted her to smell it. I wanted her to, to reminisce. I wanted her to really jump into the water, for lack of a better term, with Summer. Okay. And we got to a place where she starts to have a moderate meltdown. So let's keep moving.
Went off the handle. And ever since that, I don't know, she's just been hateful towards me. I don't know, I don't get it. I really wish I could understand it.
Okay.
And she stuck me with that guy. And then my husband got home. And he's like, well, who's this guy, And I'm like, Allie left him here, abandoned him here. I was like, he ain't got no place to go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then my mom took him after my husband.
Okay, what we didn't hear there, what I was hoping to hear, is who took Allie home? This is one of the questions that I've had. Okay. And I don't know what's going on in the chat, but Roxanne, let's see if we can clarify, what's going on there. And mods, if we can help. So what I'm thinking is, okay, well, she just said, then take me home, take me back to my place. So somebody gets Allie in a car or a truck or something, a vehicle, and takes her home. Okay. Now, Don comes home and says, who's this guy? Well, that didn't make sense to me because apparently everybody was staying there. So if he went to work and he got in a disturbance, right? I mean, what's going on here? Who's where, right? Who's on first? Who's on second? So I think the story starts to, kind of weave itself out with some threads starting to fall out. So, I don't know how Allie got home. I really don't, personally.
And him got into a little squirrel. My mom took him, I believe it was to North Carolina to some chick's house. And then that was the end of him.
So we do know that Jose is out of the picture by her mother, who takes him to a house in North Carolina, some chick. Okay. By the way, that last sequence there, throw another red flag up for me.
So your mom drove him up there?
Yeah, my mom did.
Okay.
And I never heard from the guy again.
What part of North Carolina, do you know?
I don't even know.
Okay. What kind of vehicle?
Disassociation, again, over here. We've heard all kinds of different things about this guy, where he's been, what he is, what he isn't. A lot of this, a lot of moving parts. I want to hear it from Candace. Okay? I want to hear it from Candace or the authorities, right? I think we all do. Okay? I can bet my speculation and my opinion is that he has been interviewed numerous times by the authorities.
What vehicle did he have, if any?
He didn't have no vehicle.
Okay. But your mom took him
My mom took him in her truck.
Got it. Straight up. Okay. Then, so you're down here, and all of a sudden now, Summer is...
I refocus her into her slow motion.
Doing what?
Summer's just playing in the water right here.
Okay.
I'm just standing right here. All the flowers that died that were there on that.
Oh, so there were a bunch of flowers here?
There's a bunch of flowers right here, yeah, on this little petal. I don't know what, I guess they've all died now, but.
Okay. And where's Grandma?
And I think that is on the TikTok video, if I remember correctly. Okay. Now, what you're going to see me do is I'm going to start positioning myself, trying to get around her so she's staring over me, or at least looking at me, but behind me. Because in that TikTok video, you see Hunter at that tree. Okay. So I want her thinking about how does Hunter play into this, if anything. Okay. And by the way, for the record, at this point, okay, I'm not saying he does, and I'm not saying he doesn't. Okay. That's up for the authorities. That's their investigation to tell us.
Mom's standing right here.
Okay.
And I'm over here close to the edge just because Summer's in the water. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing.
Okay.
And she's just playing, like a normal kid would play in the water. And then Hunter came from wherever he was and come down here and was standing here. I don't want to get all wet, but
Yeah.
he was like standing here and Summer was out a little bit further. They were pretty far apart from like me and your wife is.
Okay. Is that the TikTok video you took?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can see how far they were apart.
Yeah, I can see it, right.
And with him sitting there saying that she fell on a rock, there's no rock. Where do you see a rock?
Right. Yeah, the only rocks I saw were right over.
Interesting comment. With them saying she fell on a rock, she says, where are the rocks? Okay. Well, how many times have you heard somebody say outside of YouTube, outside of our chats, outside of all you really smart people out there, that Summer fell on a rock? Okay. We've not, I mean, I didn't see a whole bunch of that this early into the investigation. Okay. I don't know yet. At that point, I didn't know, but you're seeing me, I'm starting to reposition. What I'm doing is I'm drawing her attention over so I can move around and get in a better spot to basically, she's not aware of it, but what I'm trying to do is, refocus the conversation and quite frankly, moderately control it.
Here?
Yeah,
And
they're
then
not
up there.
Yeah, they're way over there, and I'm right here.
Okay. So this is where she is, though.
Yeah, this is where she is, right here.
Okay. And how is she? What's her behavior?
She jumped.
I want her staring at that area. And then I want her to tell me, okay, what's her emotional state? What is she doing as a child? Who's watching her? I wanted to hear all of that. Okay.
Around, splashing, having a good
just
time,
Summer.
just like Summer would always do.
Okay.
I mean, that's how all my kids are.
Okay.
They just splash around and have a good time.
Does she go underwater at any time that you see?
Oh, she just dips her head in, but sticks it right back up. I mean, it was only up to here
So
at the time.
where did this idea of
Now, I'm sorry if you can't hear me. That is a very interesting move right there. She turns away from the area where Summer is, swimming to emphasize to me the next couple of points coming. Okay. So I open myself up for give me all you got. And she positions her hands on her waist. And that is kind of this comment or the body language who's going to say, well, I'm going to tell you what I want you to know. Okay.
under the water?
I have no idea
Where's
where
that
even
come from? Okay.
That just blew my mind when I heard that. I was like, she didn't even go into because when she was playing in the water, I was literally taking the TikTok video just to watch, and I did different things because that's how TikTok is. You can do different things with them.
Right.
And I was just taking TikTok video and he come up out of there somewhere and I was like just splashed around and then he threw up gang signs.
Do you know them?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
And then he
Now, I mentioned this before, but I want to reiterate it again. You're going to see some people in the background walk by, and these were folks that had driven to the water hole. We had no idea they were going to be there. And at the end of this interview, they came over and they gave her a hug. They were very kind, very polite. And, there is a situation, between them, they had a little chatter. And almost simultaneously, a couple minutes later, 10, 15 minutes later, over, in the background, the equestrian search team show up, and she kind of freaked out because she didn't know they were coming. Neither did I. And that's because, they're doing something that they were doing, and we were doing this interview. So that said, EquiSearch, yes. Thanks, Mom for Life. So I'm more concerned personally. I'm watching her body language. She turns away from where Summer was, thinking. So she was processing, I think. She was processing, okay, what's going on? And well, okay, I need to get to this guy and reemphasize what's going on here. In her mind, okay? In her mind, not mine. It's just my opinion.
Started throwing up gang signs, and I'm like, so I moved it back away from him as quick as I could, and I was videoing them flowers and then back at Summer again real quick. And then he decided to get in the water right there, and he went like this with the water a couple times. I told him, please stop that, she don't like to be splashed.
Okay.
And so he quit and got out, and I said, come on Summer, we got to go get Grandma's prescription. And we just got back in the truck and left.
Okay, so a lot has been said about.
All right, so she is telling what's on the TikTok video. So she is regurgitating what's on the TikTok video. Okay? But you'll notice she kind of then quickly stops the conversation in relationship to what's going on there to, okay, we're done, let's go. Okay, so there's a gap there in her thought process. Another red flag. Another red flag. Okay. That thought process is she doesn't have anything to fill it in. Okay. So she goes from some Hunter throwing gang signs, and we see on the TikTok that he does do that. Okay. That is really insignificant information, not even asked for. Okay. She volunteers this information that from the TikTok. So what she's doing is she's reciting the TikTok video. Okay. The emotional part of this that she's not able, to control was the fact that she says, everything's in slow motion here. And I kept her in that vein by looking at everything. And what I wanted to do is again, and there was a reason for this. I wanted to reposition her again to bring her back into that mode, because here, she's kind of pulled herself out of the water, psychologically. And, she is, doing this, hey, I need to tell you now another piece of this puzzle, right?
The tea thing, right? And there's Can over there and stuff. Now, I asked Hunter,
when we come down
tell me
here,
the story on that.
This place was littered in trash.
Okay.
It was all trash down here. Like, them teas were all over.
Okay, that's, again, distancing yourself, another red flag. Okay? Huge red flag. Because we hear from Mom and Hunter, i.e. on the porch, H, that she talks to him after TBI interviewed him and says, what did you tell them? Okay. And so right now, what she's doing, and see how she's, her expression is, to point, I'm going to show you, this is again what I said a couple of minutes ago. She turned towards me, she puts her hands on her hips, and she's going to say, if you don't believe me, i.e., go ask Saad, some other dude. Okay? So we've got a lot going on here, which I'm taking off, these little flags and going, okay, that's number 4, number 5. And, because I wanted to use it going forward when I wanted to ask her, would you show me the house? Okay. And so right now she's convincing me. Okay. And, okay, I'll take it. Right. What are you selling? It's 20% cheaper over here. No problem. Okay. Red flag.
Through there, all through everywhere.
Okay.
There was flowers.
And I turn like, yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Are you going to tell me about the one though that was bought at the store? Where are we going to go there? That's what I'm thinking.
Flowers that my mom wanted to pick from here, and I said, Mom, you better not do that. It's a state park. You get in trouble for that if you get caught.
See how fast she left that? T. She shifted a paradigm shift again into flowers. Okay, into flowers. Man, that was pretty quick. Red flag number 2 in just less than 30 seconds.
Okay.
I'm not getting caught for that. And I
Okay.
told her that, and so we just walked on back to the truck. But
Did you hear that? So we're talking about the tea. She shifts it to the flowers, and then she qualifies it. I'm not getting caught for that. Now, listen to that. I'm not getting caught for that. And she says it quickly. I'm not getting caught for that. Well, we were just talking about the tea. Is that a slip over? It's kind of like leakage, right? What we would call it in an interview. She was just talking, and in a CVSA, on computer voice stress analysis, that stress moves over in that machine, and it measures it. Okay, if it's truthful, then the central nervous system will send a signal to the machine. If it's deceptive, then what happens is that stress from the T carries over into the next sentence. So I was a CVSA examiner years ago. So when you would ask an honest question, what is your name? Okay, you would get an answer, Joe Jones. Okay, and then you would ask the next question of, do you know anything about who did what? Okay, and they go, no. Well, you should see that. But what happens is the next question after that is, what's your date of birth? October 3rd. Well, it doesn't do this. It goes like this. Okay. That's carryover stress. And that's exactly what she did about the tea. She shifted it back to flowers. Okay. And then she qualifies it and says, I'm not getting caught with that. Okay. What she was really worried about is that guy or that tea that she purchased and that Hunter admitted to drinking, and that if it's true, she went over to ask him about that, which would open the doors to some really interesting questions from TBI and FBI.
I don't know where that iced tea coming from. I know that I did buy an iced tea
Okay.
from the smoke shop in town, but I bought that iced tea for my mother.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if she was here today, she would tell you that.
Right. Right.
And the vapes that I bought
Yep.
were nicotine vapes from the hippie house.
I didn't ask her about the vapes. Unnecessary voluntary information, but necessary, because she needs to decompress the tea comments. Okay? So now she's doing the exact same thing with the vapes. Okay? This is like, it's like shoot, repetition. Okay? Well, later on, when I went back in totality to watch this again, and I've watched it a ton of times, she's trying to mitigate. Okay? So a lot of things going off here.
Next door.
Right, next door.
Okay.
Well, no, they're kind of, one's further down by the mall. The smoke shop's further down by the mall where I got the iced tea. And the hippie house is just right over here before you crossed over the bridge.
Got it. Okay. So the smoke shop where you bought the
We went to the hospital
right.
and picked up my mom.
Right.
And then we stopped at the smoke shop and I got mom that twisted tea that she wanted. And then I stopped at the hippie house and got me some smoked nicotine vapes, is what I got.
Okay. What
And-
flavor?
I think they were Skittles,
Okay.
because that's kind of like.
Wait, do they have like a different
They
flavor?
actually,
You guys are catching the fact that she is now presenting the narrative from her perspective that she heard Hunter give from his perspective. But what she's doing is she's correcting the order without even, all I said is, tell me about the tea. She went from there to, let me tell you every place we went. Okay.
it tastes like Skittles.
Okay.
It's the only kind I'll buy.
Okay.
And then we left from there and we went straight down to Walgreens and went through the drive-thru. But after we were done at the hippie house, I think we bought.
So we had a little fade there. And the reason is I asked her, I said, so is this the order? And she said a couple of things that I still have, I'm holding for other reasons, not because I don't want to tell everybody right now, but there are other things that, I'm holding for just like I did Andy's name for 5 months. Okay. So, but here, she's into, I'm trying to get around her, quite frankly, but I'm just going to let her talk. I'm going to let her chatter all day long.
Three of them, I think, I believe. And I set them right there on the council, and he asked for one. I said, no, you can't have none.
Did he take one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honest to God, I don't know.
Okay.
But then we went to the Walgreens and dropped off Mom's prescription. I said, well, if we got to wait 30 minutes, why don't we just bring Summer down here and let her play for a little bit?
Okay.
And that's what we did.
Okay.
I mean, there was nothing. I honestly didn't see him drink nothing down here. I don't know what he's talking.
Okay. Can you guys see that in her mind, there's not a real clarity of focus here? I'm looking at some of the comments, and I agree with you guys 100%, that she has lost all focus on Summer here. And there are a couple of places, and this is one of them. Let's go back and listen to it.
Talking about? I really don't.
All right.
It actually tastes like Skittles.
Okay.
It's the only kind I'll buy.
Okay.
And then we left from there, and we went straight down to Walgreens and went to the drive-thru. But after we were done at the hippie house, I think we bought three of them, I think, I believe. And I set them right there on the council, and he asked for one. I said, no, you can't have none.
Did he take one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honest to God, I don't know.
Okay.
But then we went to the Walgreens and dropped off Mom's prescription. I said, well, if we got to wait 30 minutes, why don't we just bring Summer down here and let her play for a little bit?
Okay.
And that's what we did.
Okay.
Now, you see this, the sequence there was out of sequence. Okay. Let's listen to it again. She bought the tea. They went to Walgreens. Okay. I asked him, did he drink it? I don't know. And then we came, i.e. them, to the water hole. She's kind of got a...
I mean, there was nothing. I honestly didn't see him drink nothing down here. I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't.
All right. So it's your word against his, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, she's worried about that.
Okay. On this scenario right
Yes.
here. Okay. So from here, where do you guys go?
Walgreens to pick up my mom's prescription.
Okay. Is that the Walgreens right down at the
Yeah,
edge
it's
here?
right straight across.
It's the one.
Now she's got another sequence here. What we do know is at some point they went to the Walgreens. We know that. Okay. She, in my opinion, listening to her and watching her, she's more concerned about that tea at this moment and these moments that we're witnessing here than she is about her daughter now potentially problematic in that water. Okay. She really wants to know against Hunter. Okay? She's going towards him to kind of discredit him. But she knows she can't go there all the way because he's already spilled the beans. And by the way, he has spilled the beans not only to TBI, FBI, Hawkins County, but he did it multiple times. And I thought it was a brilliant move because they brought in, a very experienced FBI agent, a woman, who that was a brilliant move because this gal was able to dance 100% with him at the table and really wanted to clarify, some of his confusion. Okay. So kudos to this, agent, because it was brought up multiple times by Mom, multiple times by other folks. So that was a strategic move because he really wasn't opening up with, males because they were kind of intimidating. And she was intimidating, obviously being from the FBI, but she was able to, in my opinion, put him in places that he didn't want to go. So good for that.
One that I showed the other day that it's right down here?
Yeah, when we turn to come down here,
Yeah.
it's right there on the corner.
Okay, you get mom's prescription.
Yep.
Then what happens?
Then I told mom, I said, why don't we get a Sonic?
Okay.
Because it's hot out.
Right.
So we drove in there, got a Sonic.
Right across the street.
Yep, right across the street.
Okay.
And then we left from there, and I went up Moreland Drive because I had to pick up a few things. I was in the store for maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
Grabbed some milk and some cheese, and I don't.
All right. This is the milk conversation. She volunteers it. I didn't. I said, then what happened? She volunteers the milk, the cheese, the groceries, how long she was in there. All right. I didn't ask her that question. Red flag. I said, then what happened? I mean, listen.
I don't remember what else I bought.
Okay, and that's the word against his, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay, on this scenario right
Yes.
here. Okay, so from here, where do you guys go?
Walgreens to pick up my mom's prescription.
Okay, is that the Walgreens right down at the
Yeah,
edge
it's
here?
right straight across.
It's the one that I showed the other day that it's right down here?
Yeah, when we turn to come down here,
Yeah.
it's right there on the corner.
Okay, you get mom's prescription.
Yep.
Then what happens?
Then I told mom, I said, why don't we get a Sonic?
Okay,
Because it's hot out.
right.
So we drove in there, got a Sonic.
Right across the street.
Yep, right across the street.
Okay.
And then we left from there, and I went up Moreland Drive because I had to pick up a few things. I was in the store for maybe 5 minutes.
Okay,
Grabbed some milk and some cheese, and I don't remember what else I bought.
okay, and that's the
Grabbed the milk and some cheese. Okay. Not grabbed milk. She is emphasizing that this milk, and that picture is, again, in my opinion, problematic. I said to all of these guys at the table, the milk is going to be in question. It's always the small stuff, right? You know, not necessarily only the positioning of the milk, but, you know, is there something else about that? Okay. And she qualifies it by offering it. Okay. I didn't ask her about what you bought or, you know, so tell me about the milk. Okay. Right. I mean, if she has groceries, which she said she did, because she tells us later that she had the boys come out and get the groceries. So now when we look at that photo, there may be groceries in the back or on the floorboard, but she's not mentioning the groceries. She's qualifying the milk. There's a reason for the milk, and you can hear Buddy behind me. He's so funny. Now I gotta turn it up. Okay. What she's doing, in my opinion, is she's introducing, you know, things that are going to be questioned later on. And this again is another example. To me, another red flag. Okay? Another red flag. So, you know, they had been talking about, you know, a lot of different things that day, but she, at this point in the interview at the waterhole, is telling me the timeline. And what she's trying to do is contradict, in my opinion, Hunter. She's trying to make it squared. Okay. But in this position here, she's trying to put a round peg into a square hole. Okay? And because she wants to give us information. But I haven't asked that question. I just kind of set it out there. Then what happened? And so she starts filling in the gaps. Well, we went to Sonic. Okay. We, you know, et cetera. We went to groceries. I got, you know, I better tell them about the milk and some cheese and, you know, a couple other things. So, you know, that's in my, you know,
foodless?
No,
or
priceless.
Priceless. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And then I was like, Hunter, you're not coming to the house. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going back to your house.
Okay, so she's got the milk now, and immediately she brings Hunter into the conversation. I didn't ask about Hunter. She brings him into the conversation because now the milk, in my opinion, is in the conversation. So she introduced it, and now she's going to say, all right, it's time for Hunter to leave. You're not coming to my house. You heard her, right? Listen again.
A few things. I was in the store for maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
She's laying a timeline out. She knows at some point that would potentially be significant. I would submit to you that it is significant because that timeline now puts that milk in the back seat of the car with Hunter. Hunter says, right, that he puts the milk on his lap, and then he doesn't remember the exact sequence, which, again, we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt in relationship to his ADHD. I'm not a doctor, but I think, he could be confused in relationship to the sequence of the milk. And that's why I told him, look, that milk is going to be significant because Candace, is making that milk significant because she is admitting or introducing it into the narrative because she knows that picture exists, because that milk is there when she's going home. And, we know where that picture was taken 1,000%, okay? About 8 minutes from her house, according to Michelle, right? Which was a great piece of work, which shows the power of the YouTube community when done correctly. Okay. So this milk for her, is significant from the water hole.
Grabbed some milk and some cheese, and I don't remember what else I bought.
Okay, and that's the foodless?
No, priceless.
Priceless, okay.
Yes.
All right.
And then I was like, Hunter, you're not coming to the house?
All right. So there, she thinks she convinced me, but I'm going to throw a red flag because what we see her here is her wave her head away and back into me, like, okay, I got it. Okay, he's buying it. Okay, well, she's selling something that, quite frankly, right now, I'm not going with it. Now, I'm like her, she's chit-chatting, but this is not my first rodeo, and I'm soaking it all in. Okay.
Sorry to tell you, but you're going back to your house.
Okay.
And I took him back to his house and dropped him off and left. And Summer was still awake when I left his house.
Okay.
Qualification. I'm going to tell you, without being asked, Summer was still awake when we left that house. Now, what I'm not going to do, knowing, that it would be inappropriate, I'm not going to say if Summer, in my opinion, was alive or dead. That is not my job. And that is up to the medical professionals and the investigators. So I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to pretend to guess. That what I see in that picture is a little girl leaning against milk with her eyes closed. Okay. So, the reason for that is obvious. Okay? It would be irresponsible for me to say that at this, even at this juncture that day. That's for the authorities. Okay? What I did hear from Dad was that she's buried somewhere. So I'll say that all day long because Don said that. Okay? So that's why it's imperative that we not go there. Okay, to let the authorities continue, to keep focusing on what the reality is. Okay, let's keep moving. And then, by the way, I'm getting all your super chats. I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them at the end. So thank you so much. But I'm going to stay laser focused on this, and then we'll get to that. Okay. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
And Allie did never walk to the truck and try to talk to me or so.
Okay.
I tried to get her to come over and talk to me, but she wouldn't.
Okay. Where does
Okay. I don't know if you guys just heard that. Okay. I'm going to play that again. But when she said that, I paused here for a second. I went, oh, man, did I just hear that?
from here, when you left here, okay, and you went priceless, okay.
Yes.
She even threw me off when she said that, where I went, okay, but listen to what she says.
All right.
And then I was like, Hunter, you're not coming to the house. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going back to your house.
Okay.
And I took him back to his house and dropped him off and left. And Summer was still awake when I left his house.
Okay. Okay.
And Allie did never walk to the truck and try to talk to me or so.
Okay.
I tried to get her to come over and talk to me, but she wouldn't.
Okay.
Okay, so what she did is she went at Allie. Okay. And I'm thinking, okay, why, if this is, if Summer's hurt, does she not want to see, have anybody see her? Because she qualified it with, she was awake. Okay. Allie says she was asleep. Grandma, at Allie's house says, no, they had to go. Remember she said that? No, they had to go quickly. Okay. So Allie wanted to see the kid, according to Allie. Candace is saying, I tried to have her come over, but she wouldn't come to the car, or essentially something to that effect, right? And then she, Candace adds into the conversation that, no, she's awake. She's awake. Okay. Hunter's already out of the car, according to Hunter, not sure how he positions the milk. And that's why another reason I wanted to know how because of this comment, how in the world, at what point when they're leaving, does she reposition that milk so Summer can lean against it? Okay. This was critical for her sequence to say, I'm trying to get Allie to come to the car. Allie saying, I wanted to go to the car. So we have conflicting statements there. Hunter going, well, I'm not really sure how the milk got repositioned, how the milk is positioned. Okay. But she's saying she's alive or awake and that we left right away. And then she qualified it even in the front of that, saying, Hunter, you're not coming to my house. You're not coming to my house. Well, did Hunter ask to go to the house at some point after the water hole? There's a dozen things going on here that, looking back at this, I hope this is helping everybody to see where she's got her arm out. This is a convincing statement. Well, again, if you don't believe me, go ask that guy, Sod, some other dude. And what she's doing is she's giving a Sod, some other dude. Okay. That's what she's doing.
Cheese, and I don't remember what else I bought.
Okay. And that's the foodless?
No, priceless.
Priceless. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And then I was like, Hunter, you're not coming to the house. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going back to your house.
Okay.
And I took him back to his house and dropped him off and left. And Summer was still awake when I left his house.
Okay. Okay.
And Allie did never walk to the truck and try to talk to me or so.
Okay.
I tried to get her to come over and talk to me, but she wouldn't.
Okay. Where does from here, when you left here?
All right. So notice I just let that all, flow, right? And now she's repositioning her hands. You're starting to see her lean away from me. And that's a gesture of, okay, did I just sell it? Was it a good sale? Okay. And now I'm going to reposition her to get her thought process away from what she just said, because it's over. Meaning it's already out. So I want to take her back to, you know, again, the emotional response of slow everything down again.
Okay, and you went to Sonic, like you mentioned. What flavors do you buy? Do you remember?
I think I got me and Mom a grape.
Is that your
No,
favorite?
Not my mom.
Is that your
Summer got a
favorite?
grape. That's my favorite.
She wasn't paying attention. I tried to dap her. I got dissed. I mean, ultimate diss right there. None of this, you know, it was like, no, I'm trying to tell you a story. You're going to listen based on the question you just asked. Okay. But you're going to see me. I'm going to start moving here to keep her moving.
I don't remember what Mom got. She got, it's like a cool water or something like that.
Okay.
And then Hunter, I think, wanted the blue one, I think.
Okay, is that the slushy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The slushies. I don't really.
Did you buy food?
Nope.
Just the slushies?
Just the slushies.
Okay, then what happened?
And then we left from there, went to Priceless, and I wasn't even in there 5 minutes.
Okay.
Grabbed my milk, come right back out the door, and he was sitting there playing on TikTok like he always does.
Okay.
I mean, and then for him to sit there and say that he doesn't even make TikToks, I have
deception. She leans away from me and kind of repositions to tell me this story, okay? Because this is critical, and I'm going to explain.
on my phone personally, I can show you where he's made TikTok.
Okay.
Honest to God.
I hope you've given it to the officials, right?
No, actually, it's still on my phone. I haven't had a chance because I was going to talk.
All right, remember everybody asked, do the officials have the phone? Apparently they don't have this one. Because she's saying, when I asked her, well, you know, she's basically dissing Hunter about TikToks. Okay? And I asked her, I said, well, do you have those TikToks? He goes, yeah, I've got them on my phone. Okay. Oh, okay. Did you give that phone to TBI? Oh, no. And you're going to hear in a second. Okay? I'm going to back that up for you again. So she's now, again, you know, throwing, you know, spitballs, and I just hit her with a knuckleball, and she took a swing at it. So it sounds like she had another phone that somehow had evidence on it, in my opinion, and she's now going to tell me she turned it over to the authorities. Remember, the authorities went back, I believe. Is that what they went back for? I don't know, but I'm going to back this up and listen to her again.
Talk to them Tuesday when I went back to town.
Okay,
I got some business I got to take.
Okay.
Slushies. I don't really.
Did you buy food?
Nope.
Just the slushies?
Just the slushies.
Okay, then what happened?
And then we left from there, went to Priceless, and I wasn't even in there 5 minutes.
Okay.
Grabbed my milk, come right back out the door, and he was sitting there playing on TikTok like he always does.
Okay.
I mean, and then for him to sit there and say that he doesn't even make TikToks, I have on my phone personally, I can show you where he's made TikTok.
Okay.
Honest to God.
I hope you've given it to the officials, right?
No, actually, it's still on my phone. I haven't had a chance because I was going to talk to them Tuesday when I went back to town.
Okay.
She hasn't had a chance to talk to the authorities and give them the phone. But, oh, by the way, I've taken a couple of polygraphs and calling him from the back seat of a police car, allegedly. We don't know if that's true or not. But, this one, yeah, I'm gonna hand it over when I go over Tuesday. You know, and I'm thinking, what are you guys all going to lunch together? You know, what's going on here? Why didn't your daughter's missing? And when they say, do you have a phone? You say, yes, here. It's all here. Take a look. Okay. So my question is, I love that one, LJ, self-narrative alibi. Really good. That is a good great statement. Thank you for sharing that. So all of a sudden, she's got another phone somewhere. Another phone somewhere. Is that the phone she uses or used when they would order narcotics? Is that a burner phone? Because we know that the authorities allegedly took all of the phones, and I know some of those guys up there. For them to miss that phone, I would submit to you, they were hiding that phone, and she just leaked it, and she's had it leaked for quite some time. and that's why I left it in, because I wanted the authorities to grab that. I have uploaded information on a Dropbox to TBI, so I'm hoping they were able to get to the phone. Okay? Which leads me when people say, well, how was she able, to call when, Hunter was, or when they took all her phones? Well, this is how, right there. This is how. So that is, an arrow, a target. That's a target. Okay? Big time slip up.
I got some business I got to take care of.
Got it. Roger that. So,
because she's got some business she has to take care of. Meaning, I need to tell you, Mr. Krish, that Mr. Fluff, I love it when Josh says it, Mr. Fluff. You can't make this stuff up. But what she's saying there is, I got the phone with, TikToks that Hunter may be on them. And no, I haven't really turned them in yet. When I'm ready, because I've got some business to do, I'm going to drop off my phone. Okay. All right. That's almost as good as Don buying $2,000 worth of crack to show TBI, okay, that he would never sell his daughter for crack. Just saying. Okay. Kind of goes in that. I'm going to call that a McFlufferism. Okay. And guys, we're going to need an emoji of a McFlufferism. That's going to be the new one for our TIR family. Okay. Are you guys doing okay? You hanging in there? All right. Let's keep moving because we're almost done with her statement here.
from there, you go back to Hunter's house.
I drop him off.
Explain the milk. The picture of
The milk, it was sitting right there beside Summer.
Okay.
Because when I handed it to Hunter in the car, he was on the outside.
Oh.
I said, Hunter, put this on the other side of Summer. I just set it over there.
Okay.
And she was wide awake sitting up.
Okay.
So is he in the behind for that scenario? Is he at the driver's side and he sets it across over into the passenger side? Summer's in the middle. And as Michelle on the other channel says, she falls over and falls into the milk. Okay. Could be. Not convinced. Could be.
Like, she didn't go to sleep until after we left town.
Did she change clothes?
So she's saying now that she fell asleep, and she doesn't say that she fell over into the milk, okay? But she did fall asleep from what Candace is saying.
Yeah, I changed her clothes because when I have the windows down, it could be 100 degrees. I'll have all the windows up. Roll up the window, Mommy, I'm cold. And she not be cold, but I still do it.
Is that part of Summer's
That's
personality?
just Summer.
She's cold, and I think all of us know she's cold, but she's going to put her on cold milk. And that's why she changed her, right? I did not catch that. Let me go back. Somebody just said she claims a gallon of milk, but there were multiples. Let's listen to that.
The best little girl anybody could imagine. Just like, well, I don't really want
You left here, okay, and you went to Sonic, like you mentioned. What flavors do you buy? Do you remember?
I think I got me and Mom a grape.
Is that your favorite?
Not my mom.
Is that
Summer.
your
Summer got a
favorite?
grape. That's my favorite. I don't remember what Mom got. She got, it's like a cool water or something like that.
Okay.
And then Hunter, I think, wanted the blue one, I think.
Okay, is that the slushy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The slushies. I don't really.
Did you buy food?
Nope.
Just the slushies?
Just the slushies.
Okay, then what happened?
And then we left from there and went to Priceless, and I wasn't even in there 5 minutes. Grabbed my milk, come right back out the door, and he was sitting there playing on TikTok like he always does.
Okay.
I mean, and then for him to sit there and say that he doesn't even make TikToks, I have on my phone personally, I can show you where he's made.
Now, what's interesting for, I think, all of us to think about is Allie says, she's sleeping on that milk when they pull up. What Candace is saying is she's awake you know, and she's, got the milk in the car on the other side, potentially where it's at. And Hunter gets out. Hunter says at the store, Summer is leaning against him, kind of snuggling with him. And they're watching TikToks together. Okay? So it makes sense if Summer is in the middle, okay, that when Hunter gets out, she just stays in the middle and not move either way. Okay? So apparently she stays in the middle. And if she falls asleep, again, that would make sense that she would lean towards that milk.
Okay.
Honest to God.
The wind spray. I hope you've given it to the officials, right?
No, actually, it's still on my phone. I haven't had a chance because I was going to talk to them Tuesday when I went back to town.
Okay,
I
got
got
it.
some business I got to take care of.
Got it. Roger that. So from there, you go back to Hunter's house.
I drop him off.
Explain the milk. The picture of
The milk, it was sitting right there beside Summer.
Okay.
Because when I handed it to Hunter in the car, he was on the outside.
Oh.
I said, Hunter, put this on the other side of Summer and just set it over there.
Okay.
And she was wide awake sitting up.
Okay.
Like, she didn't go to sleep until after we left town.
Did she change clothes?
Yeah, I changed her clothes because when I have the windows down, it could be 100 degrees. I'll have all the windows up. Roll up the window, Mommy, I'm cold. And she not be cold, but I still do it.
Is that part of Summer's
That's
personality?
just Summer.
Tell me about Summer.
Right. So she doesn't qualify exactly where she did that. All right. So that's still a mystery. And where I was focused still, had it been in a different environment sitting, I would have said, something else, right? I would have traveled onto all these flags that I'm, throwing up here today. But, I didn't want to get to a place where she says, yeah, I killed her, right? Or somebody else did, and I know what happened. Okay? That's the authorities' job. So I kind of, moved back a little. But what I did want to do is what I'm doing here now, is I wanted to move her into another emotional state away from all the things that she potentially could have prepared for. Because remember, she heard this interview with Hunter. So she came, as she told me, to qualify the timeline that Hunter got wrong. Okay. I'm paraphrasing, but she wanted to tell us that this timeline is wrong, that Hunter got wrong. Why that was to this point, I'm assuming she was trying to line things up that would line up with what actually, is the story timeline or the qualification timeline, I'll call it. Okay. So this is critical what we're going to hear here, because you're right. This is when, there's conversation about when did the clothing, where'd the clothing go? But what I want to do is take her off of that for a second, the narrative she just gave, and take her back into Summer to see if we get an emotional response. Okay. So I'm trying to see if she's past feeling, basically.
Tell you about.
I want to know about Summer.
She's a happy little girl.
Okay.
She's the best little girl anybody could imagine. Just like, well, I don't really want to say her name.
Yeah, don't say her name.
But, happy-go-lucky. Nothing ever brings her down hardly.
Mm-hmm. Today's a tough day for you, I can tell.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's been tough lately.
Tell me about that.
Every time I look around, I see her face.
Okay.
I don't know what else I can tell you.
Well,
All right. I think we all caught that. We have a whole cognitive shift here, right? Where, 30 seconds before that, she's like, the milk, the Sonic, let me tell you, blah, blah, blah. And now I reposition her emotionally back into the slow mode, we'll call it. Okay. Well, next thing you know, her voice drops, her attention span focuses, You can tell that she's feeling something. Okay. There's no confusion from her. She's now feeling what she feels, a piece of her daughter. Okay? And I think at this point, because this goes on, and she really dropped to a point where she had to sit down, and we cut it out, to be honest with you. And I have it, but when the timing's right, again, this is one of those investigative things where she goes over, and I'm narrating it for you because this is what happened. She goes over and she sits down, and she says, I don't know why God is coming down on me and people. Okay? And she is bawling. Okay? Now, at that point, I didn't know what her skill set was until she made the call to Mary and really put that, that piece of puzzle together. All right. And so, at this point, I would say, and the Oscar goes to, open the envelope, Candus Wells. Okay. Because I was thinking at that moment, okay, if she's got something here, okay, then she's gonna leak it somehow, some way. All right. And she does. And she, in my opinion, she was sincere in relationship to, what she was saying. But I also think, and I've thought it from day one, she's not going to say much for quite some time. And when I saw her on the Dr. Phil show, everybody came to the same conclusion that I have had for 5 months at that point. This was 5 or whatever it was, 5 months ago, 6 months ago. So I walked off of that thinking, okay, I've got to know more about Summer. And that's why I asked her in her room, or that's why I said when I took the video in Summer's room, I understand Summer now. It was because of this moment.
Help me understand, when you went home, tell me about those dynamics that day. Take me back to that day. Yeah, on the way home.
On the way home, well, we were just sitting there talking, me and Mom, about everything pretty much. Trees, flowers, rocks, whatever Mom likes, pretty much we talk about. And I was like, what's Summer doing? She's like, oh, she fell asleep. I was like, oh, how's she sleeping? And when I look back, because I'm driving, and I look back like this, she had her arms up like this, like her daddy sleeps all the time.
Okay.
So I wanted to catch that moment.
Okay.
It's just things I do.
Right.
And I was like, here, Mom, hurry up, take that picture. And then she accidentally hit the video record.
Okay.
Instead of the picture part.
Okay.
So like, did you catch it? She like, F, no, I accidentally hit the video part.
That's what you get for handing Grandma the camera.
Yeah, well, I was driving though.
Okay.
And I was like, did she put her arm back down? She's like, yeah. I was like, dang. And then she got a picture of her, but by that time her arm was down, but her arm was up most of the time like this.
Right.
And we were like 2 minutes from the house when she took her arm down.
Okay.
And then when we got to the house, we unlocked the gate, went up, and I woke her up. She got up, I unbuckled her, she got out of the car.
So I'm going to just a couple of seconds here. Listen to this again.
And she got a picture of her, but by that time her arm was down, but her arm was up most of the time like this.
Right.
And we were like 2 minutes from the house when she took her arm down.
Okay.
And then when we got to the house, we unlocked the gate, went up, and I woke her up.
Now the gate she's talking about. So what I think, this is sincere. This part, okay, that if that video is actually that day, all right, then she's plugging in pretty, a good flow here. She's feeling it, and the minutia detail of I unlocked the gate. Well, that is the chain down the below of her driveway. So that's a pretty close, that's a pretty close, possibility. So I'm going, 50% that, maybe more, 75% that she's telling us the truth. She's telling us the truth.
She got up, I unbuckled her, she got out of the car. We went and grabbed the boys from the house to come help us with the groceries.
Yep.
Because I always have them come help me do something.
See, she's using the words we. We went and grabbed the boys. We took the groceries out. Now this is where it kind of again shifts to, and the Oscar goes to.
And now, who was home when you got home?
My 3 sons.
Okay. And how old's your oldest?
He'll be 13 in September.
Okay. So was he?
Now, I wanted that because when we get to the house on the next video, she slips and said, when I asked her, tell me about this, she goes, everybody locked in, all doors, all windows, nobody in, nobody out. So if the 3 boys were home that day while she was out with Summer and Mom, the obvious question is, well, who's monitoring the boys? Okay. And then we have to ask, why does Hunter say the boys went with Don to work? And then why does Don say, if that call is accurate, there's some guy up on the property? Well, does Don see that guy? Does Don know that guy? Okay. Well, he, according to Hunter now, says, well, I heard the conversation. I wanted to see who was calling. All right. So this is where it starts going into, some more red flags with conversations. And I think we can all agree to that. Okay. So let's move forward here because I'm going to ask her the big questions.
Babysitting?
Well, technically they weren't really, they were watching TV and sleeping at the same time.
Okay.
My kids always watch TV and sleep. Okay. Number 1. Flag.
Okay.
And I was just going to run out for a second and we never.
So she knows that's an uncomfortable question. And now she's going to justify the narrative. I left the boys at home. Now she has to qualify that because she knows I'm not sure why you would say that because you're going to have to, work on that. First of all, if she did leave the kids and didn't wake them and say, hey, I'll be back in a little while, well, then it makes no sense to call Hunter or for Hunter to call you and you guys agree to go swimming and hang out while the boys are back at the house. So a critical piece of information here is the idea that TBI is going to confirm, or the FBI through the cell phone analytics, of whether or not calls were made back to the boys, if that's the truth, which right now I'm not completely buying, okay, that if that's the truth, they're going to have those cell phone pings coming and going to the water hole, to the car, to the house. And this is another reason why Dawn has to weave into the narrative, and she has to weave into the narrative that there was communication going on between them. Okay? Because somebody's got to watch those boys because they already know they're getting jammed by CPS, right? Or, Child Protective Service. So she's got to qualify this statement. And I think she does, the curly shuffle.
I didn't even plan for Hunter to even be with us that day at all.
Got it.
He just called and was like, want to come over for a second? I was like, yeah, I'll come over for a second, but I got to get right back to Mom. And that was all it was a quick second thing.
Got it.
And he's like, Mom, can I go with them? I'm like sitting there shaking my head like this, and I was like, I don't care.
So again, she qualifies even in her own voice as to why she shakes her heads. Okay. I'm shaking my head because she's saying, like, remember earlier? She goes, like that. Okay. Well, she's saying it here. Well, the reason she does it is she doesn't like what she's hearing, but then she, says, okay, you can come, right? But she drives over there to pick him up. It's just a short distance, right? I wasn't planning on picking him up, but I'll just drive over there and pick him up while the three boys are at home by themselves. And oh, by the way, I wasn't really planning on being out that long. Okay. I'm just taking my mom to the hospital and, oh, well, I might as well go over and pick up Hunter. So who set the arrangement up, in my opinion, is irrelevant. Okay. What's relevant here is she's dancing here. She's dancing. Okay. Because she knows that's another jam in the boys.
Just like, okay, whatever.
Okay.
I didn't even think nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? I always take them kids. Every time they call me and ask me, come get me, I always come get them because their mom don't do nothing with them.
Okay.
She just sits there.
That seems to be the difference between you and Allie. You guys have a difference in terms of what you say you do and what she says she does, right?
Right.
There's always that. It seems to be a conflict.
Conflict somewhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead. Finish your
But
thought.
I'm always taking the kids like it was, I want to say like 3-4 months ago. I went over to Allie's and I asked Allie if she wanted her and the kids wanted to go up to, I want to call it Ducktown because that's where we planned on going, was Ducktown. And she's like, no, I'm going to sleep, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. And Hunter's like, well, can I go? And Allie's like, yeah, go ahead. So we took him up to Ducktown with us and stuff and brought him back, and everything was fine. I thought we were good friends, but I guess she's trying to get back at me for some reason.
She goes right back from the boys to a misdirection into the conversation with Allie that, quite frankly, again, this is just information that she starts presenting, talking about a relationship with Allie versus talking about what's going on with her daughter missing. Red flag.
I don't know.
Those are reasons that
they're beyond me.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
and you know what? That's not for me, right? Let's let the authorities figure that out. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't really want to do an interview, because I'm not trying to fight this, Right.
or say something that I say. Right. I'm not into all that game.
I'm here to help find your daughter.
I want to find Summer. I don't even care about anybody else's bullcrap. I want to find my daughter.
I do too. Okay.
That's all this matters to me.
I totally agree. I totally agree that I'm on that same page with you. All these people, I'm sure, are on the exact same page as well. I think you know that, right?
Yeah.
So walk me through when you got home.
Okay.
You unload the grocery. What exactly is going down there?
Well, I bring my kids.
Okay, she finally moved to where I could get in front of her and reposition her to refocus on the emotional aspect of this. Okay? And watch or listen to how she starts, you can hear and see a physical change taking place in her.
Out, and we all unload the groceries, but we all go in my house first because we sort out my mom's groceries from her groceries.
Okay.
We always do.
So everybody takes their groceries in. They go to her house, into her house. They sort the groceries out. Some to mom, some to Candace.
Yeah.
And we did that, and mom walked back across, and me and Summer were putting groceries away, and watching TV off and on, and just chilling with the boys, hanging out, and then
Okay, huge red flags. She and Summer are putting the groceries away. You guys have seen that house, where it's minutia, but where do they go? And what's Summer's routine here? Because if the boys are sitting there playing these games, okay, well, where does Summer reach and put these groceries? How does all this work itself out? And now she has positioned her hands in front of her, and she's not looking at me. She's looking away, Okay? And she's thinking about, okay, how do I play this part of the puzzle? Okay? That's what she's doing. Okay? Huge red flag. Just this posture alone. Because she's trying to convince me she's open, but she's turning away from me to tell me, I'm not really sure, but I'm going to say what I need to say. Okay? And she does. She does a good job. Listen.
We decided to do some laundry. Because laundry, my kids, they got 80 pairs of pants, 80 pairs.
Oh, so all of a sudden, she's doing laundry at the house. Okay? She's thinking about, well, how do I do my laundry? Okay? How do I do my laundry? Okay. Wow.
Each one of them.
Okay.
So, doing laundry at my house is like
A job, right?
It's a job.
Right. Do you have a bulldozer?
No. Sometimes I wish I did.
Okay.
No, that's just joking.
Got it. That's okay.
You see, what I did there is I threw her off on purpose because I wasn't buying what she was selling. And I said, oh, you had a bulldozer? Okay. Well, that threw her thought process off. Okay. It's like, again, going back to the guy who says, well, I was in the movie theater, and you say, oh, well, then you must have seen the paramedics when they showed up with the guy with the heart attack. And they go, oh, yeah, I saw all that. Well, it never happened. Okay? It never happened. But they, seeing how we're at the water hole here, it was one of these. Another red flag for me early on, even before I got to the house.
You're doing laundry.
Doing laundry and stuff, and kids are all sitting there watching TV, chilling. And I stepped down, and I noticed Mom was sitting on the step, and her step is like literally from here to that tree, from my doorstep.
Okay.
I can literally walk over and be right there.
Okay.
And she's like looking around, and I was like, what's your problem?
So this, right, as all of us knows, this is into the timeline here. Okay. This is into the timeline. Okay. So quite frankly, she's pretty well messed up the timeline. I think all of us can agree that this just isn't making sense right now, because what she does is she takes Summer getting out of the car. Within 2 to 10 minutes, Summer got gone. Well, how long does it take to have 3 people taking groceries, put the groceries away with the person who got gone, okay, and evaluate your laundry, right? On top of, and my wife is an amazing woman and an amazing mom. I watched her do 50 things within that, 2 to 10 minutes, but it took at least 15, 20 minutes. And then she would come out and say, okay, we need to do A, B, C, or D. Okay? But for her, all of this stuff is done like, Shazam. And then she comes out, leaves Summer in the house, apparently, and goes out to talk to Grandma about planting flowers. Sees her mom sitting out there on her step, i.e. Grandma's trailer. And all the other tasks are done automatically. But when we get to the house, it doesn't look like the Dr. Phil show.
Like, we got to get these plants transplanted into bigger pots.
Okay.
And
now you're sitting on the front porch, or where you all?
No, I'm not sitting. I'm
Are you in the house?
No. She's sitting on our camper step right there. And,
okay.
And the flowers are here on both sides.
Okay.
And I'm just standing there. We're just talking. And she's like, we got to get these transplanted. And I was like, all right, well. She goes, well, we know the boys ain't going to help because they don't like to do flowers.
Yeah, well, boy does, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, but I know someone that will. So I ran back in the house and I grabbed Summer. She was sitting in the kitchen playing with her little, what are them? Little short guys with the big eyeballs.
Okay.
And I was like, Summer, you want to plant flowers?
So we know, according to her, potentially that Summer occupies her time while she's outside talking to Grandma. So I think she needed a reason to get Summer into the narrative here, to get her outside so the narrative creates itself, and then get her reintroduced into the house. So she has to say, because Candace, or because Allie says, she was on the FaceTime with her planting flowers on the side of the house. Candace has told us that no, we were planting flowers in that, the rocks with cactus, and there may be some other flowers that we're not aware of. I don't think that's ever been qualified, but I'm going to go on a bingo card for 100 that after they watch this, they're going to qualify it. And when that happens, just remember, put bingo card for 100 that you would do that. And because we see that in their behavior, they adapt and improvise really easy after hearing it. And then they have somebody structure it for them through a triangulation process, including setting up a website. So we'll see how that unfolds. Okay? I'm going to go out on 100 on a bingo card there.
Me and Grandma
Is that the LOL things? Are they?
No, they're not. She didn't really like LOLs.
Okay.
She didn't care for those. No, I don't know what they're called. They're all kinds of different characters, like different animals, but they got big eyes.
Okay.
She liked.
And all she's talking about are the same things that she talked about in the car when Summer, her wearing the hat or the shirt. And then she's also talking about, she's got a couple of these things that she loves in the car. She had a couple on the dashboard, and now she's got them in the house, and she's playing with them in the house after the groceries. Okay. Now that may be true. That, let's say that could be true. Okay. But at the same time, she's got to get Summer out of the house and into a conversation with Grandma and Candace. Okay? She's got to get her out. And the flower scenario sounds like that's the one that presented itself, right? The little pet shop. Tina, thank you. Okay.
So I bought them for her. And she was there, I was like, Summer, you want to do some flower planting and stuff? She jumped up faster than anybody I've seen jump up. She's like, pretty flowers? I was like, yeah, let's go over to Grandma's and plant flowers. Transplant is what we did. And so we did that. And
now listen, a shift in tone, a shift in body, i.e. you can feel the weight coming. We did that, and she's now thinking. So I'm watching her carefully, and I'm thinking, okay, now comes the comments, right? The big questions. So these are going to be some hard-hitting questions. They're going to be subtle, but they're going to be right on target, and we're going to watch the reaction, and then we're going to hear how she answers it, okay?
I don't know, it took us a while, probably 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, I don't know. We're not real fast people. We don't.
Okay. Your Tennessee time.
Yeah,
just sitting on a porch,
chilling.
Drinking some sweet tea and just.
I don't drink tea.
But chatting it around.
Yeah, just chatting pretty much. Me and Mom drink Mountain Dew.
Okay.
That's what we do. We drink Mountain Dew.
Yep.
And the summer we got done, we washed our hands real quick, went in Grandma's house, and she asked Grandma for a piece of candy. She always does.
Now, that response, Summer washed her hands real quick, and we went into Grandma's house. So did she go back into the house to wash her hands? Did she do it in Grandma's trailer? Okay, because they went into Grandma's trailer after she washed her hands. So that means she didn't wash them, I would think, in the trailer. She must have gone back into that house and then came back out after her hands were washed. Okay? Unless there's a water source outside. And I was looking for one, and I cannot tell you where that potential, excuse me, I apologize, where that was. Okay, listen how subtle that is.
flowers. Transplant is what we did. And so we did that, and I don't know, it took us a while. Probably 30, 40, maybe 50 minutes. I don't know. We're not real fast people. We don't.
Okay. Your Tennessee time.
Yeah,
just sitting on a porch,
chilling.
Drinking some sweet tea and just.
I don't drink tea.
But chatting it around.
Yeah, just chatting pretty much. Me and Mom drink Mountain Dew.
Okay.
That's what we do. We drink Mountain Dew.
Yep.
And the summer we got done. We washed our hands real quick. Went in Grandma's house, and she asked Grandma for a piece of candy. She always does.
Okay.
And of course, Grandma gives it to her.
Sure.
And she wanted a piece of candy, so Grandma gave it to her. And we're sitting
going away from me. She's going away from me. I don't think she realized that she's getting real close to feeling the emotion. Buddy, quiet. Get your toys. Karen, can you get him his toy? Sorry about Bud. So she's turning away from me, and I'm in a position or more because I wanted her looking in that direction behind me.
there for about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes maybe at the most. And she was, Mom, I want to go back to the house with my brothers. I was like, all right. So I got up and I walked her back across to where I could literally.
So she got up. So she must have been sitting. And she goes, I want to go back in the house, Summer, with my brothers. Okay. And she got up, walks her over to the house.
See her walking to my doorstep.
Okay.
And she
front door, back door?
No, it's, well, I don't know if you want to call it the front door or back door because I don't really consist which way.
Which door is it? Yeah.
Now, you would expect that this is the last place you saw your daughter go. This is when you would expect that PTSD, everything to slow down. Because it's the last memory of my daughter going into that house. Red flag. She emphasizes that's where she went. And she says right there. Okay? Well, she's trying to convince us. She's saying right there. Yet she gets to the water hole, and the first thing she says is everything is in slow motion. Wow. Okay. But shouldn't everything be in slow motion when she goes into the house? Because that's the last place I saw her go. And this is why it was critical for me, interviewing her when we got to the house, how she reacted when she described Summer going into the house. At no time did she say, everything is slow motion from here. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Okay.
In some of the pictures I see, there's a door around the bottom and the back.
Not the basement door. I call it the kitchen door, is what I call it.
Okay.
And she walked in there, and there's a scaffolding that we have for steps. The yellow and black scaffolding we have for steps. Okay. And I put my hand on the scaffolding. I said, boys, watch Summer. I'll be right back. And I had to go over and help Mom. She was still sitting over there. And I had to go and get her knee brace and fix it for her because it was twisted and crap.
Okay.
It took me like 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a timer.
Again, time, I don't know. That's the last place I saw her. I'm not really sure of the time. Okay. Well, see, if we reverse engineer this now, 5 months later of what we know, okay, that's like a really important, wouldn't you think that would be an important piece of this puzzle? That, okay, the house is where I last saw her. And so, she's going to put her in the basement here in a couple minutes. But this is how, and by the way, who puts her in the basement? Certainly not Candace. Okay. The boys put her in the basement. Candace is just receiving information. Okay. She's delivering and receiving information. And we're going to hear it. Oh, shoot, I just messed up. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Please forgive me. Okay. All right, I got it back.
Chilling with the boys, hanging out, and then we decided to do some laundry. Because laundry, my kids, they got 80 pairs of pants, 80 pairs, each one.
Again, she's hanging out and she decides to do the laundry, which is a boatload of laundry. So let me go forward. Pick us back up. Okay, that's where she's leaning away from me. So I'm in the ballpark. Sorry, guys. I apologize for that.
She asked Grandma for a piece of candy. She always does. Okay. Of course, Grandma gives it to her.
Sure.
And she wanted a piece of candy, so Grandma gave it to her. We were sitting there for about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes maybe at the most. And she was, Mom, I want to go back to the house with my brothers. I was like, all right. So I got up and I walked her back across to where I could literally see her walking to my doorstep.
Okay.
And she
front door, back door?
No, it's, well, I don't know if you want to call it the front door or back door because I don't really consist.
Now, I do agree that she potentially could have been at Grandma's trailer because, you know, see how she turns and she kind of, you know, positions her body towards the house. If we look on it, when we see the next one, when the next one we set up, and she points back to the house, and then she turns here and emphasizes, this is where I saw her. So she's over, you know, either she's overselling it or, you know, it's just not there. Okay. It's just not there. I'm not going to say either way just yet. I'm just, you know, my observations, my opinion.
Which door is it? Yeah, in some of the pictures I see, there's a door around the bottom and the back.
Not the basement door. I call it the kitchen door, is what I call it.
Okay.
And she walked in there, and there's a scaffolding that we have for steps. The yellow and black scaffolding we have for steps. Okay. And I put my hand on the scaffold. I said, boys, watch something. I'll be right back. And I had to go over and help.
Now, I just saw a comment that I'm overthinking this. Well, let me submit to you that she's overselling it. She's telling me she put her hand on the railing. Okay. So the reason why you have to look at this in minutia detail is because that's where the truth leaks out. Okay. So I just want to tell you, I saw the comment and I appreciate it, but that's the reason. Okay. It's not overthinking. Okay. It's under analyzing.
Mom, she was still sitting over there, and I had to go and get her knee brace and fix it for her because it was twisted and crap.
Okay.
It took me like 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a time person, never have been.
Okay.
And next thing I know, I said, Mom, I'm going back over with the kids, chill and hang out, whatever. And I freaking asked her brothers, well, where'd your sister go? She was just right here with you. But she wanted to go play with her toys downstairs, Mom. I said, I think none of them, because that's where our room is, that's where her toys are.
Okay.
And after about a second, I didn't hear nothing down there. I was like, you sure she went downstairs? They're like, yeah, Mom, she went downstairs.
Okay. And
my boys do not lie to me. So I went around because my stairs, my husband calls it a bar, but it's not really a bar. I call it a mess.
Hunter calls it a bar. She introduces Hunter into the conversation about the last place her daughter was seen. Now think about that. That is insignificant information. It's irrelevant what Hunter calls it. What's relevant is she's got to get her into the basement. Okay. Or my husband, was it husband? Let me go back. Let me go back. I could be wrong, but my husband.
And after about a second, I didn't hear nothing down there. I was like, you sure she went downstairs? They're like, yeah, Mom, she went downstairs. Okay. And my boys do not lie to me. So I went around because my stairs, my husband calls it a bar, but it's not.
I thought she said Hunter calls it a bar, but she could have said my husband, but I don't remember that, but I could be wrong on that. So I'll stand corrected. But either way, if it's her husband or whoever, why are we talking about what that is instead of saying she was there at the stairwell and let me show you the stairwell or let me explain the stairwell. She does describe it as a, a box type of thing, but okay, she says my husband. Okay, I stand corrected. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Not really a bar. I call it a mess. We built it over the staircase. I guess you could call it a bar, but it's not really a bar because we don't drink that much. So, but it was like where we put our TV stand and stuff like that. And I walked around because that's where the steps are hidden up underneath there. And I said, Summer. And she didn't answer me. I said, Summer, are you down there? And she didn't answer me. So I ran down the stairs pretty much. I was freaking out. I was like, why is she not answering me? And I looked I blew up. I went everywhere looking for her. So I couldn't find her nowhere.
Okay. And then what happened?
She was just gone.
Okay.
She was just gone into nowhere. And I started tracing the property, going everywhere I could. I sent my boys down through well, we live on the hill, so it was down by the creek. Okay.
That's way too much information here with no emotion. She's just gone. Okay. Well, 5-year-olds don't just get gone. Okay. 5-year-olds just don't disappear from the basement. Okay. So this has been a red flag. Yeah, from day one for me. If we did a an analysis using the victim continuum, and we take a look at it, okay, it just makes no sense. Again, that a total stranger would walk up. The back door was not locked, or was locked. She says it. You can't see in through that window in the door. And looking back now, she said it's not a bar because we don't drink. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And I got it, guys. I made a mistake. We're good. We got it fixed.
And I looked I blew up. I went everywhere looking for her, so I couldn't find her nowhere.
Okay. And then what happened?
She was just gone.
Okay.
She was just gone into nowhere. And I started tracing the property, going everywhere I could. I sent my boys down through well, we live on the hill, so it was down by the creek. Okay. I sent them all down through there looking and everything.
Okay, so let's assess that statement in of itself. You have an alleged high-risk offender abduct this child or is abducted from this property. So the first thing you do, knowing that your 5-year-old is missing, is send your other 3 children out into the same environment where this suspect could be. Okay. Not in 1,000 years. Okay. Would a mother in her right mind who is thinking that her child was taken, Dawn coming home saying, I know she was taken, would you say, okay, you 3 are my search party, get out there? Okay. And then the neighbors say, yeah, we saw the boys. Okay. I don't know. DLR does not look right, does not sound right. Red flag, my opinion.
They still didn't find her, and they said no. So I ran over and I freaked out. I called Donnie because that's what I do automatically. I freak out,
You called Don.
I called Donnie. I said I cannot find Summer. Come home now. He's like, call the cops. So I threw my phone down on the back of his pickup, ran over to my mom, picked up her phone because it's the only one I get.
So does the phone work from her house to Jonesboro? Apparently it does, but not to call 911. So we need a separate, cell tower, AT&T, but I guess Verizon works out to 40 miles away where Dawn is working. Okay, so we have the shift of the phone. Okay, we know it's not the phone that she had the TikTok videos on because she said she hadn't turned that in yet. Okay. So she throws the truck or the phone in the back of the truck, goes get mom's phone, and immediately starts making phone calls to Don. Okay. So this is the introduction of Don into the play. All right.
It's out there, it's AT&T.
Okay.
So I picked up her phone, I dialed her. I said, I cannot find my daughter. And they sent people out, and I wasn't just going to stand there and wait for them to send people out.
Right.
I jumped in my mom's truck, and I went down the driveway as fast as I could. I went everywhere I could possibly think, every road which way. I didn't see no cars, I didn't see nobody at all. And I was like flipping out. I was a hot mess, so you call it.
Okay.
It's just, it makes no sense. The only thing that can...
Okay. That speaks for itself. I don't even need to make a comment on that. She says it makes no sense. What makes no sense? So I qualify that question. I'm thinking about it. I'm processing. My ring got stuck on my shirt. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what makes no sense? This is about her little girl evaporating out of the house. So does she believe it?
Come to my mind is that somebody snuck up there in that yard and took my baby girl.
What are the odds of that?
What are the odds of that?
From your perspective?
It happens all the time, all the way around the world.
I'm not questioning that it happens. I'm just asking you from your perspective, in your property, living up there as long as you have, Candace, right? What are the odds that that happened? Take a guess.
50-50.
Okay. What would
50-50 that somebody would take her daughter off that property. Now, I've sat down with victims of missing children. I've been studying these guys for quite some time, a couple of weekends. I've never had a parent say 50-50 unless that there was more info. So the question is, what side of it is the 50-50? Is it the suspect side or is it something else? Okay. That makes, according to her, no sense. Okay. That is a huge problem, in my opinion.
Would be the 50% that it didn't happen? What are the other possibilities?
I have no idea.
Okay. Could she have walked away and fallen?
So I gave her an out at that moment. What are the other possibilities, i.e. the other 50%? I have no idea. And you notice she introduced Don's narrative. Kids get gone all the time. Okay? Well, no, they don't. They don't get gone all the time. They're very rare events with strangers. And he made up a bunch of numbers and threw it out there. And, folks have called him on it. Okay? Kids don't just disappear. And she understands that. And that's why recently on YouTube, she leaned forward and says, I know. And you can go listen to it. It's on one of the other channels where she's with a panel. And she says, I know that, there's more, i.e., kind of like what happened with Dr. Phil when the guy said, look, we're not buying it. Okay? There's more here. Can you tell us what that more is? And she, buckles in. And then she also says that, she tells the world, okay, they adapt. Okay. So bingo card for another 100 that this will also adapt into the narrative. maybe on their YouTube channel. Let's see. Okay? Let's see. I'm not buying it personally. Not for sale with this guy. Innocent till proven guilty still. That's a jury's job.
Knowing my daughter?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay. What's in your heart today in terms of what gives you hope and what do you hold on to? I mean, you've been around the block a couple of weekends. Okay.
Look where she's staring. This is the emotional aspect of where I was trying to reposition her. And this is when she really starts to go towards it. She breaks down essentially like she did on the show, Dr. Phil. So here, she's processing.
I mean, so have I.
Yeah.
And I think what you're telling me here, I have no reason to disagree with you. You know what I mean? I mean, there's going to be a lot of he said, she said, and and I know, no matter what, okay, no matter what,
In my heart, I believe. Now, this is just the way I feel.
I respect that. Totally respect.
Notice she didn't say, and Don feels the same way.
I feel that somebody has got her hid out somewhere.
Okay.
And is keeping her away from us.
Help me.
That could be a true statement. That could be a true statement. Because she's saying, and she said it the other night on a YouTube channel, somebody got her and I know who they are, or something to that effect. I don't want to be wrong, but it's out there. So she leaked it potentially 5 months ago. 5 months ago. It is not an abduction, though. It is not an abduction. Somebody had access to their property and this family. They knew her. Okay? They knew her.
I understand why that's in your heart.
Okay, first off, I didn't know how many sex offenders lived around me that were only 8 minutes from my property.
Okay.
So now she is going to give us a narrative about RSOs, registered SOs. How she got there so quickly, I don't know. Red flag.
I didn't know that.
Right.
And another...
Okay, Ray, that's the statement. Yes, thank you. Can I share that, Ray Bird? So this is what she did say. It says, I have a feeling it's someone real close to me. I think she said this like a week ago on another channel. So now take that statement and this statement, which both came out of her mouth. How do we measure that? How do we measure that? I don't know. I don't have enough data, but maybe the TBI and everybody else does.
My daughter never goes out into the woods because we've taught her there's dangerous snakes, there's bears, there's pack of dogs, there's coyotes, there's everything magical out there in the woods that can hurt you.
Okay.
I've even taught my boys that.
Okay.
And I have never stressed that enough. I tell her that every day.
Right.
And she would never ever go anywhere than that swing that's on that tree.
Okay. Yeah, tell me about that swing. Is that her favorite? I love those videos you put out showing her just having an absolute...
You can hear Buddy in the background.
blast. That's a blast. What about this call allegedly that Hunter says came in? Well, he said there was a call that...
So this is an interesting question, and Beachy, thank you. If true, why hasn't Ellie gone to get Summer? Because they probably don't know where she is. Because the parents had, if it is true that what Candace said, why hasn't she told Ellie where to go get her? Okay. How about that? Let's reverse it, right? That concept.
Dawn made to you while you were in line at the prescription. Did that happen?
He called me and asked how everything was going
Okay.
and how soon we were going to be home.
I'll follow you on which direction. And
And she would never ever go anywhere than that swing that's on Tony Hammonds, whoever the hell he is. He was down through there.
so where is?
I don't mean to get upset, but when something
you're
like that, it
you know,
just,
here's the good.
now this is just the way I feel.
I respect that. Totally respect
I
that.
feel that somebody has got her hid out somewhere
Okay.
and is keeping her away from us.
Help me understand why that's in your heart.
Okay, first off, I didn't know how many sex offenders lived around me that were only 8 minutes from my property.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Right.
And another, my daughter never goes out into the woods because we've taught her there's dangerous snakes, there's bears, there's pack of dogs, there's coyotes, there's everything magical out there in the woods that can hurt you.
Okay.
I've even taught my boys that.
Okay.
And I have never stressed that enough. I tell her that every day.
Right.
And she would never ever go anywhere.
Okay, so I would ask everybody on every channel and in every chat, if somebody knows where she's at, whoever the person is, if this is a possible scenario from what she's presenting here, give her back. Call the cops and say, I have Summer Wells. And here's the reason why. All of this stuff about, she was taken, because, they wanted to protect her and all this other stuff. Well, whoever did that in good faith is now going to prison for a very long time. So if this is a true thing, which personally, I don't know, but if you do know, and you know somebody that knows, rather than going around on YouTube and saying this person knows, call the cops. You see that statement below? Okay. Call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Call them. We're all here looking for this little girl, trying to help resolve this issue. So if somebody has her, let's call, please. Let's call. Don't waste any more time.
In that swing that's on that tree.
Okay. Yeah, tell me about that swing. Is that her favorite? I love those videos you put up showing her just having an absolute blast. That's a blast. What about this call allegedly that Hunter says came in? Well, he said there was a call that Dawn made to you while you were in line at the prescription. Did that happen?
He called me and asked how everything was going.
Okay.
That then is confirmed that Dawn called her in the line for the prescription. So 100% for Hunter. Bingo.
And how soon we were going to be home.
Okay. Hunter.
If Don's at work and he's calling, why is he asking when she's going to be home? And how does he know she's not home? Red flag.
Relates that he mentioned to you that Don had said something about somebody around the property. Is that true?
That is so bullshit.
Okay.
Sorry to say, but that's a bunch of bullshit.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So she takes the stranger on the property off the table. Okay. Hunter keeps it on the table. Okay.
So where is?
I don't mean to get upset, but when something
you're
like that,
here's the good news. Okay.
That right there was the exact same emotional response she had on Dr. Phil. See how she responded? I don't want to, on Dr. Phil, she goes, I feel like I'm being interrogated. And she starts pulling. So her mechanism when you're getting close is to go into this response.
This is your dog.
I know where my husband was.
Okay. But you.
I cut that out because she started to play the narrative again, and there were some other things in there.
You have every reason. Don't apologize.
No, I'm just.
Okay. Don't
It
apologize.
makes me so mad that
I mean, the fact that you're wearing mom patrol.
that somebody could stand there and lie
People lie.
to law enforcement, to everybody. It makes me so mad that it just makes my blood boil.
Right.
Yeah, 30 seconds ago, she was about ready to cry, and right now her blood's boiling because they're talking about Don.
Right. So she disappears.
I step back, give her a little more room, set up the play.
I don't know what else to say.
What are the possibilities in your mind? I know what your heart's saying. Your heart's saying she's with somebody right now. How would we know how to connect that dot? You and me.
Well, like, for instance, that Dobbs guy that was supposed to be camping across at my neighbor's house.
Right.
He was there that same time, and then Tony Hammonds, whoever the hell he is, he was down through there.
Who was there when you got home?
There was nobody there. There was my mom mentioned the blue van across at my neighbor's house, but I just figured she had company.
Okay.
I didn't know about that was the guy that was trying.
So Mom introduces, Candace introduces the blue van. Now, Tony Hammonds, first time that name comes up through her. Hunter had said some guy named Anthony. Okay? And so the Hammonds guy is probably off the table because they fluffed him out pretty quick. So that left, the name possibly of Andy. And that's why I bleeped it out. Because this Hammonds guy, I believe, was the same guy that allegedly was, tweaking and ran up on a 12-year-old who ran into the house through the garage. And this guy went in after him. And they hooked him up pretty quickly. Okay? So I'm buying that guy's a wackadoodle. No question about it. I'm not buying that he came up on the property unless he was hanging out that day with Don.
Trying to move in there. I didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
And so I didn't think nothing. I just figured it was neighbors. I had visitors.
Okay.
I didn't think nothing about that. I gotta stop. I can't do no more.
See, she's out of narrative now. She's out of narrative. Okay. So now she has to go to raw emotion and thought process. Jackie Dobbs, could he have taken her? Who introduced Jackie Dobbs to the investigation? Who introduced the abduction to the investigation? All of this has been introduced through YouTube. I don't know what they told the authorities. I know what people who come on, and it's interesting that in the recent press release, the authority said, don't donate to people, okay, in fundraisers for summer. So if law enforcement isn't doing their job, then I guess we have to think that, they would keep the Amber Alert up when Tony Hammonds is in custody. So, yeah, short for Anthony, but long for Andy.
I gotta have a cigarette. Sorry.
No, go light it up.
I just don't.
Light it up, girl.
I don't like to breathe in.
No. Go blow it. Go. I'm not going.
This is a mechanism. She wants to get out of here, not feeling comfortable.
Don't worry about me. You should see me drive. I'm a mess when I drive.
You can't drive like I can.
You got a lot going on, Candace. I respect you. I'm sorry that you're having all this problem. And no matter what we say, you or me, somebody's going to question
Like, it
it.
doesn't matter what I say or do or try to prove to people. Somebody's always going to twist my stuff.
Right.
And for that one woman to go on there that works with Allie, she don't know me and my kids. She don't know what they do every day. Most of my boys were here. They tell you. This is,
I've seen a lot of your pictures.
yeah.
That speaks volumes. You know what I mean? That speaks a lot. That says a lot. Nobody's perfect though, right?
No, I'm not perfect.
I'm not
Hell
perfect
no, I'm
by any
perfect.
means, shape, or thought.
Never have been perfect. Never meant to try to be perfect.
And me neither. I mean, you,
I am a person just like you,
Yep.
or your wife,
That's
or
right.
that person out there on that jet ski.
that's right.
I'm no different than anybody else.
We all make mistakes. There's no question about that. No question about it.
I can't even enjoy life without my kids.
Help me understand what you mean by that.
She can't enjoy life without all her kids. Sure got a lot of pictures in LA. Just saying.
Like how these guys are out here having fun with their family and stuff. I can't even go in that water and pretend to even have fun because what's the point? She's not here to enjoy it with.
You know, I lost a son.
Yeah, you were saying that.
I know that hole. I know there's a depth of pain that nobody understands until you have been in that hole. Okay? And
You know, I've been in this hole twice now.
help me understand that.
Well, once when my mom called me and said that they couldn't find my little sister Rosie
Okay.
when she disappeared.
That is an interesting statement. That she brings Rose into this conversation. That she feels that emotionally she's been in this hole twice. By the way, I think we'll see some movement on that. Just my opinion. But I talked to the investigators, the lead investigator, and the sheriff recently. At some point, and thank you everybody for your kindness here. Again, for us, it's always about just be a subscriber. And I've got a crazy little Jack Russell underneath me here, so I'm going to keep moving.
And that was heartbreaking. But my daughter, that's twice as worse.
Right.
You might as well just rip my chest out, throw it out there for the fish to eat because it's worthless without her. I try to be strong for my boys. I try to have hope.
For the first time, in my opinion, since Candace has been involved in this scenario as mom of this little girl, she is showing genuine emotion here. She is feeling the weight of her little girl. And so I will not make a comment about any of that with her here, because either way, how this sorts itself out, people are innocent till proven guilty. And even if she, is in that scenario, she at least, I try to treat people, even bad people who do bad things. The old saying, hate the sin, love the sinner. But somebody needs to step forward on that side of the coin. And I hope she does step forward because I am of 100% agreement that she knows more than she's presenting out there. But I would give her the dignity, and I did at this moment, and I would continue to do it, even if she was, found and hooked up or whatever the scenario is. I don't know. Okay, that's up to the authorities, innocent until proven guilty. But I wanted to be sensitive to her because this is when the moment she really broke down and cracked. And quite frankly, I thought she was going to lean over and say, Chris, this is who has her, or this is what happened. And it happened here, or it happened at the stairs, or she got hit by a truck, maybe a red truck, whatever the deal is going to be. And I thought this is where it was going to come down.
I feel like everybody is against me.
It's all right. You wanna rest for a minute? You wanna take a break for a second?
Yes.
Yeah. Take your time. Nobody else is here. They're all gone. Everybody left. The world today is so different than it used to be even 10 years ago because of, the people can get on, this little device and say, he's lying, she's lying, he's this, that, and they do it about me too. You're right. It's just so out of control almost.
I've really never seen so much hate in my life until now.
I believe it.
Honestly.
I believe it. I believe it. Because I think everybody wants to help, but they don't know how to help. So when they hear indiscrepancies, okay, automatically what is that?
A bee.
Oh man, don't get stung on me now. You'll be blaming me for a bee sting. But
I earned my DAP back.
they don't know how to help, or they want to help, and then of course there's one discrepancy on YouTube or wherever, and next thing you know it just gets crazy. I mean, I've had people say, oh, you paid Hunter to talk to him. Seriously? Am I paying you? No.
I don't want your money.
And I wouldn't offer it. Okay.
I don't want nobody's money.
I'm not here for that.
I want my daughter.
I'm here for that reason. That's why I'm here. Okay. That is why I'm here. I'm not interfering with the investigators. I'm letting them do.
I'm not neither. I'm going to let them do their job.
Let them do their thing.
Do their job.
Let them do their thing.
That's all.
Okay. And you came down here on your own to walk me through this.
Yes, sir.
I credit you for that. I respect you for that. Okay? And somebody's going to find something wrong with it, though.
Of course they will.
I'm giving you a heads up. Okay?
Oh, I already know this.
All right. I'm just telling you. Okay?
That's how the world is today.
It is. Now, the other side of that, okay, is if there is.
I appreciate it. You're making my point. Thanks.
A suspicious person or somebody like that now you mentioned, or Don, I can't remember in the first interview, Donna had mentioned that on the news, he mentioned that he thought that she was abducted. How did that conclusion come so quickly? Help me understand that.
Because she never wanders.
Okay.
She always stays right there by the house, right there by the swing.
Okay.
She'll go to grandma's, but she'll be right back to the house.
Okay.
She'll never leave the house. She'll never go out of my sight.
Okay. So what did you tell Dawn at work when you called him?
I just said she was missing. I can't find her. That's all I said.
Do you remember where he was that day? What job site he was on?
I believe he was in Jonesboro at the Meadows, I believe.
Okay, and he's hanging drywall?
No, he's finishing drywall.
Okay, so he's a finisher.
Yeah.
Okay, a taper.
Yep.
Got it. And do you help him?
Well, I tried to help him yesterday, but I just...
Yesterday when I called you, is that where you were working? You told me you were working, and you said you were going to go to church.
Yep.
And you went to church.
Yep,
okay.
Sure did.
So you did all the things you told me you were going to do.
Sir.
And I got it. Okay, so that all lined up. Okay. And now
I'm building empathy and trust because I want to go to the house and I want to see how those dots are connecting. So I'm being sincere here with her. No hidden agenda other than at this point, when I got there, I wanted to see if I could help find her baby. And I'm still here to try to help find Summer Wells. And I will stay here until there's a resolution. But I'm watching her very, very carefully. And at the end of this, she collapses. I'm not buying the whole Oscar routine. Okay. What I'm trying to do is see if there was some other things that I could help with to pull this out of her. And by the way, I've interviewed serial killers, guys, gals who've decapitated people, necrophilia, you name it. She's not even a challenge. She's not manipulating me. Okay? It's actually, it's in my favor. The more she talks, the more she has to unwind and unring the bell. And so you'll notice now, 5 months later, how much of that have we seen? Okay? And why I'm having this video play tonight. Okay? So I absolutely want you folks.
When you called him,
I am being sympathetic to her and empathetic to her because, quite frankly, she needed it at this moment. I didn't know the dynamics in relationship to what her relationship with Don. I didn't know Don yet. He avoided me for 4 days. I came to know him, but I didn't know the dynamics with Summer. I didn't know the dynamics with Candace. It's the first time I ever met her. And I didn't know the dynamics with Don. I do today, okay, very clearly. And that's because, you treat people with respect and they will respect you. That's how it works. And that's why I love you guys and respect you who come to our channel here at TIR. We love you to death. Can't thank you enough.
what's his reaction?
He's like, what, are you playing with me? I was like, no, I'm not playing. He's like, call 911, and that's what I did.
Okay.
That was all that was said.
Okay. What was Grandma doing?
Grandma was out hollering for as much as she could. She can't really get down my driveway's horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
Right.
I don't know if you ever been out there, but
I went to your end. I didn't go up.
right, it's horrible out there. The driveway's every time it rains, all the gravel goes into the creek.
Okay. Is Don home now?
No, he's actually at work.
Okay. Do you think you could show me where she was, where you were, and so we could?
My house?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Is that cool?
Okay, so this is the end of it, but here's some other food for thought that I want everybody to wrap our minds around. Okay, is what if they're not involved? The parents. I'm not saying they aren't, but what if they're not? Okay, we don't have enough information yet as YouTubers to go out and do stupid things. Okay? We have to know factually. Do we have evidence that's showing there's suspicious activity here? An abundance. I think we can all agree there's an abundance of evidence. But there are other theories that are floating around, the car theory, for an example. So let's keep an open mind still. Let's keep pressing forward. Let's not look backwards, right? Let's keep pressing forward and see if we can make a difference in Summer's life and see if we can figure out these pieces and or at least provide pieces so that we can call these guys right below us. Our plea tonight is if you know something, please call the authorities. What I know for sure is what happened to Jeannie and what happened to Mary and other people from Don. Okay? That's what I know for sure. Okay? I can't say what happened to Summer yet, personally. And I've been doing this a very long time, a couple of weekends. So I would ask you that we continue to work forward. I mean, I think Michelle was a perfect example of showing exactly where that picture was taken. I mean, you can see it. It's clear. That's where that picture was taken. 8 miles from Summer's home is what she said. Get over there, go see that. Come see me over after the invitation here with Josh. I just want to really say how much Karen, Dillan, and I appreciate each and every one of you for your kindness and your consideration. But what's most important for us is hit that subscribe button, share the video, and subscribe, share. We are grateful for that. So catch you over at the lab. Love to see you over there with Josh. I think he's a smart kid. I call him a kid because I'm 25 years old and he's 22. So Mods, if you could throw his link up, that would be great. I'm going to go over there and visit with him. So, God bless you all tonight. Keep each other in your prayers, and let's keep the light on for Summer and keep her in our prayers. Okay. You guys ready to go to Hawaii? We love you guys very much. And so let's go to Hawaii, shall we? See you over at Lab.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts, wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah, make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away, you and me, go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. I need a summer breeze, some fresh air to put my mind at ease. No cares. You wanna come with me? Me and you go to our favorite tree. Are you ready now? We jump on a plane now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. Don't hesitate now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. We'll never come down. We're going away. Yeah, we're going away. You and me. Feeling the sun on my face in a while.